Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Honey Flow Talk Show every Wednesday night on my channel, the DJ Honey Flow Show. Welcome, Facebook and also YouTube. Really excited. Been streaming there for about a month now, but I've been doing this show for about a year and a half. So I'm really excited to bring on the next guest. For anyone that watches my show, they know that I talk about aisle 2 all the time, which is either looking for love in aisle 2 of your grocery store. And everyone has a grocery store globally. So since Twitch is a global audience, you could always walk in your aisle 2 and possibly meet someone in your grocery store. So I always talk about finding love in your grocery store, aisle 2, or I talk about restoring the love in aisle 2. Now, people wonder, well, Honeyflow, why do you keep talking about this aisle 2? These are really unrealistic expectations of finding love. So I wanted to bring, a positive show, a great couple that has actually been married, and they do a show on Twitch too. He's a DJ as well, and his beautiful wife. They've been married 25 years. They just came out with a book that they released called The Rhythm of Love. So it's been really selling out, like crazy off the shelves. I'm definitely going to purchase a book and hear their advice. I think sometimes as singles, we take advice from our single girlfriends or maybe guy friends if you are single, and that may not necessarily be the best advice. So I'm always trying to dig for people or couples, that have really gone through the trenches when it comes to the ups and downs of marriage and really are transparent and honest about it. And this couple, I always have a blast being in their chat room, talking with them. I think they have really great chemistry and awesome dynamic between one another. So before I talk further, because we only have about an hour and a half or so here, we're going to bring them in. Beautiful couple, Djcsharp, killing it on Twitch with his beautiful wife, Yoyobaybay. We're going to get into aisle 2, some advice, and what are their thoughts on how to keep a marriage work even in this day and age. And it's not just for singles, it's also for if you're in a relationship, if it's complicated, whatever your relationship status is. This show is really for everyone today. So I'm excited to bring them in and just hear their advice. So let's bring them in right now. Hey, how are you guys doing?
Hey, can you hear us?
Yes,
All right.
perfect.
You can take her individual face off
Oh,
and put her
okay.
backstage.
Let's see.
All right, we
Like
figured
this?
it out.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. Let's
Can
see
you
if I
hear
could.
her?
Let's see. Oh, no, I can't really hear her.
And then she can't hear you. Okay, hold on.
Okay, no problem. No problem. So, yeah, we're definitely going to get into this, you guys. Welcome, everyone coming through. Only one Mrs. Cox, I see you. Good evening. Where are you from? Leave a message. We also have Linda as well, IDB. Where are you from? Leave a message. And, this is going to be a really interactive chat. So, I know a lot of us have different thoughts and feelings and, ideologies, I guess, when it comes to relationships. So we're definitely going to learn from them.
All right, try it now.
I could hear you, but you sound very, very far away, like
All
very
right.
faint.
Let me I'm working on this. I'm working on this.
Unless if you guys share the mic.
He said, just talk while I fix this.
No problem. That's fine.
So
So,
I'm
yeah.
hosting you. Just wanted to say
Okay.
that.
Awesome. Sounds great. So, yeah, I just wanted to kind of get into some basic questions with you. Where are you guys both originally from? I know you mentioned the DMV area. I had to look that up to even know that that was Virginia, Maryland, and DC because
DC.
your license plates confuse me. So, like one turn you're in Virginia, next turn you're in Baltimore. Like it's very confusing to me.
Exactly. Can you still hear me here?
Uh,
Can you
you
hear me?
sound you sound super faint. Yeah, the mic's working
The other
well.
mic is better. Okay.
Yeah.
Um. So yes, yeah. When you finally make your trip here, Honey Flow, you'll see that we are very close. It's like, a 30-mile radius, I think, around the district where you have parts of Virginia, parts of Maryland. And so yeah, DMV. But we both are from. I'm gonna get a little more specific. Prince George's County, which is the county that touches DC. That's in Maryland. Um, before we ever knew each other, it turns out that he and my sister went to the same elementary school for some portion of elementary school. He's older than my sister, so not at the same time. And then also, he and I went to the same middle school,
Oh,
both for
wow.
the 7th grade, but we
That's
didn't know each
amazing.
other then. No, we
Like,
lived, our
mhm.
house is the house um, that we lived in. We moved into right after he moved out of the neighborhood, our, 10-minute walk at the most
Wow,
from each
that is
other.
crazy. Wow, and you guys didn't even know that you went to the same school, like,
No,
when you're
not
younger?
until years and years later. Like we didn't go at the same time. I can't I'm 2 years behind him.
Mhm.
So we didn't go at the same time. But yeah, we found out, years later. We
Check.
were we were in college together for about a year and a half before we met. And it's not a big school. We went to a small state school in Maryland.
Yes, we
So
did. Oh, there we go. I think I might
Okay,
have got it
it's
working.
working, it's working. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, awesome. So then, if someone were to come, I just wanna say hello to everyone coming in the room,
Yeah, my
face
mom just came in.
Oh, really? Who's your mom there?
She is, let me scroll back, LDB 57.
Aw, great to see you,
Hey,
mom.
mama.
Yeah, great to see you. Thank you for coming through. Maybe you'll give us the real lowdown then. You can agree or disagree with whatever they say. You could give us, because the moms always give you the real
Plug them into
scoop
your
on their
computer.
daughters, right? Uh,
Yes.
but it's great seeing you on Twitch, Mom. See
Yes.
if Mama could come on Twitch, guys, clearly you guys could come on Twitch from Facebook and YouTube. You guys will hear all the comments. It's a global community. It's really awesome. You won't see them on Facebook or Twitch. She's going, yeah, yeah, to me. Wow, your mom seems spunky, like
Oh
spicy.
yeah. Very
Oh,
much
Very
so.
much
And we
so.
have
Very much
two
so.
two more moms here
aw,
too.
another
Hey,
mom? Is that your
Lily
mom,
P, Lily
DJ?
P and Miss Durham.
are my moms.
Aw. Okay, I'm really gonna find out the real scoop from you guys then. Forget about asking you. I'm gonna ask the moms because they will tell the truth. So
Miss
I may have
Durham
to
lives
ask them.
with us, so she really knows.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. So, what would you guys say that DC has to offer for anyone that is traveling there the first time? What would you guys say?
What does DC have to offer? I think DC has everything to offer. I love DC. We've we've lived in North Carolina where it's a bit slower. We've been to most of the major cities in the United States. So we've seen that. And it's a little smaller it's a lot smaller than your metropolises, but culturally you have everything. Everything is here. There's every event, every show, every comedian, every concert, everything that you ever want to go out,
Sports.
every sports, anything that you want to do, you can do it here. So I love DC. It's not quite Chocolate City like it was when I was growing up. They gentrifying us a little
Not at
bit,
all.
but
Mhm.
we working it out. We working it out.
I thought it was, yeah, I thought it was predominantly, like, and Atlanta, of course. That's what they call it in Atlanta, right? That's what I've
Yeah.
heard.
Atlanta is more of Chocolate City than
Oh
we
yeah.
are at this
At this
point.
point, yes. At this
Okay.
point,
At this point.
DC, I love, like, DC is a really great place, but they always talk about how crazy your traffic is out there too.
Oh yeah. I think we battle with LA for like number one and number two
Oh, wow.
for worse. Things have changed a lot
since
since
COVID,
COVID
yeah,
though. Most people are working from home. So
it's not like that, and it's not nearly as bad as it was 3 years ago.
Oh, wow, amazing. So, yeah, so I know DJ C Sharp, you DJ, and I'm definitely curious about how long you've been DJing. I have a feeling it's like 20, probably the same amount of years as your marriage or more. I have that feeling
I
with you.
wish. I wish. No, I only started DJing probably for us. It probably would be year 15. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
15. So in that case, I've been DJing about 10 or 11 years.
Oh, wow. So have you ever done it like full time DJing as well?
No, 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 no. I'm a
No.
software designer by trade. So I write software for Pegasystems.
Oh,
I
okay.
can give you what we do in a sentence, but that's it would be they tell us all the time. We we drive outcomes through workflow processes and AI powered decision making.
Oh, wow.
There you
Okay.
go. There you go.
That sounds interesting. So how
Yes.
did you guys and then also Yoyobaybay. Am I always saying your name right? I always feel like I'm trying to say it exactly like I feel like I'm saying it a Canadian way. How do you actually say your name? Because I'm all with us, we always pronounce like every single letter, you know?
Yeah,
So
in this case, there are no letters you can leave off. So yeah, we do. It is Yo Baby,
okay,
and
Yoyobaybay.
I love to hear other people say, especially streamers. When I come into the chat, I love to hear everybody put their spin on it.
Okay, I always try to get it correct, but people always laugh at me. So, you know. But I also
Hola.
noticed that you like, I don't know, I feel like you have a gift in public speaking. So I was really curious when I watched both of your shows, you seem just very natural, in front of the camera. And just when you public speak, you almost seem like a teacher to me. Have you ever had that background?
I'm going to tell you something. I am not a public speaker. It is so, I don't know, it's something about this platform and, the fact that I'm at home, sitting in the comforts of my own home. I'm not sure what it is. Haven't taken the time to pinpoint exactly, but I am an introvert who would be the last person to raise her hand and volunteer to stand in front of each other. Is my voice going in and out?
Yeah, actually, I was going to mention it that the
Yeah.
mic keeps going lower and higher and lower and higher. So you could barely hear yourself.
Hmm.
And then, okay, now it's going higher. And then
Maybe I just
yeah,
have to
going
keep it
lower.
close.
Got to
Okay,
Keep
there
keep
we
it
it
go.
close. Got to
close.
Yeah,
keep
that
it
Yeah.
close.
yeah, that works. Yeah.
Okay.
It's always funny
So
when you're DJing a wedding too. I had to keep propping the mic to them because yeah, you can't,
no,
Yeah,
it does not pick up
exactly.
from
Hey
far
Queens,
away.
I see you. We got something to
There's
say in the building.
Queen
Um,
Safa, Third Eye is my sister
oh
by
wow.
blood,
You got the
and
fam in here.
something to say is my sister by time and attention and love.
Oh man. Yeah, it's cutting out in and out still. I wonder
All
if
right,
Oh
it's the
let's get
gosh.
battery.
her a new mic.
Yeah, I wonder if it's the
Yeah.
battery. Yeah, they're saying the mic's going in and out. Hey, Miss Tiff Star, great show. Of course, the other night you always kill it. Always love watching your show. Stirs the soul, amazing interview. Hopefully, I didn't scare you. I was totally joking around with you last show, but stirs the soul. We really want you getting a show because you definitely have a gift. So I want to thank you for the interview. And it takes a lot of hard work to form questions and sketches. He actually sketched me last week while we were interviewing. It was truly amazing. So make sure you guys give props to Stirs and encourage him to get a show. We all want to see him succeed, and I think he'll kill it on here when he does a show as well. So it looks like everyone's in the building. Thank you
Test,
guys.
test.
Oh,
Is
yeah,
that? How
that
about that
sounds
one?
it sounds a little bit like how do you say, like heavy on the mic, like really, really
That's
loud.
just my voice. That's just my voice.
Okay. Yeah,
My voice is smaller,
there we
so
go.
he has to turn the volume up on mine.
We went from a Barry White voice to like this soft, sweet, like smoothed out, Jill Scott type of like sultry voice. We got
Okay,
Louie in
you
the
really
building.
are buttering me up.
Yeah. No, but it's true though. I love watching you guys. So you said that you're an introvert at heart. Like, have you ever taught or done public speaking before? Because I really see you as a natural. A lot of people don't have that talent. That's something I'm not just even saying. When I watch you, you seem very
Wow.
natural in front of the camera, and when you're speaking to people, I feel like you command attention as well. Have you ever done it before?
No,
Wow.
and I mean, I can't say I've never done it.
Mhm.
Sometimes as part of your job, you do a conference or something like that, but that's not the kind of feedback I've gotten before.
Mhm.
I
Okay.
really think it's either, growth in myself and then also the awesome platform that Twitch is, um, especially with just how uh, everyone receives you and shows so much love and support. It really helps. You can look back at the first times C Sharp and I did our stream, and
Mhm.
I think you can see it there how nervous I was.
Yeah. And how did you guys decide to do a show and come on Twitch as well?
C Sharp, you should take this.
Sure. So, so once everything got shut down, just like everybody else, I was sitting home doing nothing. I was a weekend DJ doing different things on the weekend. And so I decided one day one day I saw DJ Classics stream on Facebook. And I know her. I've known her at that point I had known her only a few months. Um, and I was like, that's such a great idea. Why don't I stream? I've never done it before, so I set my phone up and put it on a table and leaned it against a couple of books and started streaming in this one room we had in our house. And then I did it for about a couple of months on Wednesday nights or Thursday nights only. And then I said, uh, Classics called me again, and she said she was going to do something called Love Notes, her thing. And I was like, what a great idea. So she did Love Notes on Thursday nights. And I said, I should do slow jams on Sunday nights because I needed another night. So I did slow jams, and I did it by myself for about a month. And it felt kind of weird playing slow music and talking to myself. So she was in the house, and we were at my dad's houses, and I said, you should come on and be on it with me. You should just come on and be on with me. And she was very reticent at first,
Very much so.
didn't want to do it. So I said, no, 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 just have a conversation with me. Don't worry about the chat. Don't worry about those things. Just have a conversation with me. And she did. And Facebook started kicking us off pretty regularly, and a couple of friends of ours introduced us to Twitch. I give you the list of friends who introduced us to Twitch. Um, the Nia Center, Vince Adams, DJ Classics, and uh, J Styles Sounds. Those are four people. If you've ever seen them, they come on Twitch pretty often. Those four people said you should get on Twitch. So we went to Twitch. We had no followers. We just started out, and then people started migrating over from Facebook. So DJ Eclipse, who's my guy, he came over. Something to say. Her name wasn't something to say then; it was something different. Doc Chris Wright, her husband, he came on over. Lily P came over. Miss Durham came over, and then it started out as just about us and our family, and then it just kind of blossomed and grew from there.
That's awesome. Yeah, and your mic is a little tiny bit hot, just a little bit. Not
Okay, I'll turn
like
it down.
you hear a little static every once in a while. Yeah, when you're in the mic. Okay, yeah. So then, what made you guys decide to just do a show together? Because I also notice, at least the people I know, a lot of spousers are not with it. You're either going to see one spouse on Twitch, the other one not. The other one can't standing, the DJ that's their spouse on Twitch because they're spending so much time on Twitch and not
Right.
with them. Like I hear that from multiple DJs and marriages and relationships right now. So like what made you guys decide, you know what, we're gonna just do something together?
I mean, that was pretty much it. Clarence invited me, or C Sharp invited me that first night, and then I was like, okay, let's do it one more time. and let's do it again.
And
And by the third time, I was part of the stream.
well, what
And
happened?
I think in terms of us being on both being engaged in Twitch, he definitely has been and continues to be more engaged than me, like on a daily basis. Um, I, you know, get caught up. So if I want to get any work done, I cannot have Twitch playing. If I do, it has to be on my phone and I have to toss my phone across the room. So I can't get to it because I'll just want to be in the chat. Even if I'm not talking in the chat, I want to be nosy and see what everybody else is saying and laughing about. Um, so yeah. Uh I I I do love it more than I thought I would.
Mhm.
I could see us being one of those couples where I'm like, okay, can you get off Twitch? But I would be listening over his shoulder. So I was like, well, let me make my own account and jump
Mhm.
on.
That's great. That's awesome. And how long have you guys actually been on Twitch for? Has it been a year or over a year
We
or?
we we
We
we,
came
we
on
just
and
we just after 2 years at this point. I
Mhm.
think our first show together was in June of 2020.
yep.
Okay, nice. Awesome. Yeah, that's really great
I
too.
should send you the video. The camera sideways, and
Yes. We were
it's
like
very
using the phone as a
it's very
camera.
funny. It's very
No
funny.
no decent graphics.
Right.
It was
No, no,
just
no, no OBS, none of that. Just one mic and a dream.
Yeah, you know what? I think all of us have gone through that. Like everyone has had a disastrous stream from like green screens falling, my fuse broke and everyone was still there, which shocked me, running to my laundry room and trying to climb up a ladder because I'm tiny and, flick the fuses. Like everyone was watching, So
Exactly.
I think we've all grown. I don't think I've met one streamer, either large or small, that wasn't nervous or I think everyone kind of has very similar stories, even if they have
Sure.
a 20,000 following or if they have 5 people following them. And I think that's really cool when you guys share that. It just makes us all human. Like we all had our start. There's no one better or less. We've all had our start. So I think that's really great. So I know I'm really watching the time here. Wow, we only have like probably a little over an hour. So I'm going to get into the nitty and gritty. I'm
Sure.
so curious,
Okay.
especially with you guys being married 25 years. I think that's such an accomplishment. So congratulations to you guys too.
Thank you.
thank you.
Especially in this day and age, I just think it's really admirable and just to see that from a couple. So I just kind of want to know, and I'm sure they're curious, is how did you guys actually both meet originally? Like, the start of it. We'll
You
we'll
want to
go
hear the
from the
truth
start.
or you want to hear her story?
We want to hear the truth because if you guys don't speak the truth, your mamas
You
are
want to
in the
hear the
chat
truth
room,
or you want to hear her story?
and
I'll let
I
He
will
claims
ask your
that my
family.
story is
her
not
because her story
true.
is not true. Her story is not true.
Okay.
He claims that my story is not true. It's only one line that he wants to deny.
Didn't happen. So okay, we were we were we were in the university center at UMBC, which is where we went to school, and we were in the SGA office.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
because
were in the
I
SGA office.
I was newly Greek
She had just crossed. We were all. It
and
was a bunch of us in
he
there.
had
We were just talking
hmm
and just shooting it, and having a great time. And then I said, "Well, look, guys, I gotta roll. I gotta go to class." And she said, "I gotta go to class too." And I said, "Oh, really? What class you going to?" She said, "I'm going to the same class that you going to." I
Ooh,
said,
that's a
"I
good
said,
line.
you're not in my class." And she said, "Yes, I am. You're never there."
Ooh.
So
how would you know?
all that's true, and she was right. I was rarely in the class, and
But he made sure every time he did come to class that he made a comment.
yes, 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 yes.
So that's how I knew he was in the class. Because,
Hmm.
here's this black guy in a predominantly white room in the
Hmm.
school
Hmm.
and always making a comment every time.
S- Here,
Guess what the name
yeah,
of the
the irony.
class
Here's
is?
the name of the class.
Chemistry,
Yeah. No.
That's a good guess. That's a
physics,
very good guess.
No.
physics.
But it was a
The class was
sociology
Sociology
class.
353.
Marriage
Oh.
and the family.
Marriage and the family.
What? They had a class like that in college? Marriage in the family? I've never heard
Marriage
that before.
and the family.
Marriage and
Was
the
this
family.
like a private school you guys went to? Because I've never
No,
heard that.
state school.
Very much a state school.
Wow.
Sociology 353. Marriage and the family.
That's shocking. I've never, yeah, wow. Well, looks like that class must have worked out for you guys.
I guess
So, like, okay, so when you guys met, how long did it take, like, to start dating, and then when you actually got married as well, if you remember, too?
Sure.
you want me to take this part? Okay, so I think maybe a few days later.
Nah, it was
He
like
and-
months.
Well, I was gonna say you wanted to study on my test.
Yeah, that's
But
yeah.
you didn't like me then. That's
No,
not
I
when you
wasn't-
liked you.
No, I wasn't making my
You
moves.
weren't
then.
into me. You
I
weren't
wasn't-
making moves.
I wasn't making moves then.
Okay. Okay. So he wasn't making moves when he wanted to study with me for that class. But months later, yes, one of his frat brothers was on campus with him, and I was walking across campus with my line sister. And I think you should be telling this part of the story because I don't know what you guys were, what your discussion was.
All I
but
said was
they said
I met her.
Uh-huh.
I met her not too long ago. I'm going to say something to her, and
I think-
my frat brother said I wanted to talk to her friend too, and I said okay, well that's perfect.
Mhm.
Let's go over there. Let's talk to him. So we went over there. We talked to him. We said let's get together. We got to practice tonight, but after practice we'll come over to you guys' house because they lived.
we lived
Directly
just beneath
above,
him
directly beneath me. Yep, directly
wow.
beneath me.
in the
Jeez.
apartment beneath
So I
him.
said, when we get home, we'll stop by.
And the point
But-
was the stopping by
Right,
was
but
that
the-
you were going to bring
But
food
practice went long.
that we were going to cook.
Practice went really long, and we didn't get out until after 1. I'm not even sure, but it was really
Whatever,
late.
it was late.
So my guy and I are walking towards my apartment, and we can see their light is on. So he said, well, maybe they still up. So so we knock on the door, but we didn't think they were going to be home, so we didn't bring any food. So all we had was
The
sodas
snacks that
and
they had picked
ho-hos.
up on the way
So-
from step practice.
So that's
Open packages, of
Right.
cupcakes.
So then we
Mhm.
stayed up and we talked. My friend, my guy fell asleep.
Yeah, this is the part he says that I'm lying.
And
Mhm.
no, all this is true.
Oh,
It's
okay. The
the part-
line that you didn't
the-
say.
the
that was
line
when
had
we were
to do with the studying. Yeah. So
Okay.
so she had a boyfriend.
Ooh.
Yes, I had a
Uh-oh.
long distance boyfriend.
And
You
I
know,
just-
one of those high school things where you don't really break up. You just go away to different schools, and
Yeah.
you don't really know how to work through that.
So they, so
So I said to him that I had a boyfriend, and he said, "I don't want to be your man.
I just want
I
some
just
of his
want
time.
some of his time."
This is sound like Love and Basketball, don't you guys think? I feel like I'm in a Love and Basketball. I'm gonna like pop in the movie after I'm done with you guys as well. It sounded like some Love and like I'm hearing the soundtrack being played in my mind while I'm listening to you guys. So were you wearing like a silky top back in the day? You know how they had the tops with like half stripes, half polka dots. You know the big baggy hammer
I
pants
know exactly what you're
with the
talking
big
about.
high top and everything.
Yes.
Not at
No.
all.
I know exactly what you're
Oh,
talking
no?
about, and no.
That was
Oh,
not his
Jerry
look.
curl. Was it the Jerry curl?
He didn't have a cherry curl either.
Oh no.
Not at
His-
all.
Yeah,
I've
he
been-
just had a low cut
my head has
fade.
been cut bald since I've been going bald since I was 17.
Oh
So
man.
at 22, at 21, I just cut it all off and never went back.
I should have asked for some pictures from you guys actually.
Oh
C-
yeah, that would have been sweet.
yeah, I should have grabbed some. C
Ah.
Bell says he was playing for your heart. Yeah, I think so. Stirs the Soul says
I'll
that's
play you for your heart.
that's smooth, And hey, Miss KB says he won you over with that. She says BDT. He won you over with that.
It worked out perfectly.
That's my birthday twin,
It
Miss
worked,
KB. That's the BDT.
it worked out
Hey,
perfectly.
sis.
And then
Uh,
C Bell says, shucks, let me find out. Clarence had some serious game.
That's my sister.
He
Who
did
would
all
have
right.
known?
Yes,
Ooh, your
that's our
sister's saying
sister
you
That's my
got
too.
game.
sister. Yeah,
Seabell.
Bell. That's
Now
my
I'm just
sister.
curious because there's a lot of family in this room right now. Like, and you guys got to be honest. You guys got to be honest. All the family that's in the room, we got 2 moms or 3 moms in the
3
room.
moms.
3 moms in the room. So, like, did you guys approve of this couple? Like, right here? I want to hear the truth. So definitely leave it in the room. Did you
So
guys
I mean,
initially approve of the both of them when they started dating? Let me know. I'm
so
curious about that.
I think that, in my opinion, I think they'll say yes, because
Hmm.
I don't think that there's ever been from either side of the family a real issue with the choices that we made. The two
Hmm.
of us choosing one another. You know, there's been some disagreements. About some things like
Yeah.
Yolanda
The,
grew up in a pretty religious household, and
Hmm.
her parents had some pretty strict rules around what they thought her husband should
you see,
feel religiously.
Hmm.
she wrote in the chat, yes, double yes, because she
Cool.
forgets all about how she was asking C# questions about. So,
Oh, so I'll tell you a great here you go. She right there, LB
LBB, get
57.
ready.
Okay, here we go.
Say now if you
So
don't want us to tell
when we
any
were
stories
dating,
about you.
when over the summer, I had to move out of my dorm room, and I had what at the time was a big thing to have. I had like a 25-inch TV.
Hmm.
In college, that's a big deal. So I had one, but I didn't want to take it all the way to my parents' house. So I asked Yolanda if she could just hold my television at her house
Because my
until,
parents live close
because
to the
she lived pretty
school.
close. So over the summer, I come visit, and
The TV is in my bedroom.
right, my television is in her bedroom.
Hmm.
Their television in their living room is broken. The only thing they have is this little portable black and white television in the kitchen, and the NBA finals are on. And I said, well, look, I'm going to go upstairs and watch the game. And she said, well, I'm going into the bathroom. I'm going to get ready so we can go out. So I'm sitting up there watching the game, minding my business.
Hmm.
And Yolanda comes into the room and says, my mom says you have to come downstairs. And I said, why? She said, it's not appropriate for you to be upstairs. I said, you're in the bathroom. We're not even in the
That's so
same
funny.
room.
Yeah.
She said, but she says it's not appropriate. I said, so how am I going to watch the game? And she
Hmm.
said, you got to watch it on the little black and white TV in the kitchen.
Hmm.
And I said, I will not. So I went
Ooh.
downstairs. I said, thank you, ma'am. I appreciate it. My buddy lived around the corner. I walked out the door and walked right around the corner to my buddy's house and said, call me when you're ready. I'm going around the corner to watch the game.
These are Christian standards. I was
Aw.
raised according to Christian standards.
So those are
Yeah,
the
you
types
better
of
be careful. Your mom is in the chat. You still
I
got to be
know.
these
careful.
are all
That's
true
right.
statements. These are all true. I mean,
I'm
there's no.
respecting.
Now was the mom, this is the mom here that told you to get out, right? IDB 57?
She didn't tell me to
Yes.
get out.
She
She
didn't
just told me
say
to get out
get
the
up.
room.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
she just said he had to go downstairs. He couldn't be in my bedroom while I was up there.
I'm going to chat with your mom. Maybe she might help us singles find someone out there. So I'm going to have a chat with you. I like you, IDB 57. You remind me of my mom because my mom was the same way, man. You couldn't play like, if
Mm-mm.
you're in a party, she would pull you out. She would listen to the other end of the corded line. She knew exactly where I was at all times. That I still have her wrath in me and we're in different cities.
Right.
So but I think I would definitely it would be cool actually sitting down with you, IDB, and
Oh, you
hearing
would have a great
yeah,
time.
and
Oh,
just
she's a,
hearing your
She.
philosophies on life. I think that would be
Oh
really
my
oh
cool.
yeah,
gosh, Honey Flo. Let me
you are
tell
in
you.
for a treat. You are in. The stories that I could tell about that woman are long and hysterical.
Aw.
Hysterical. I
She
mean,
goes, "Yep."
but she
Yeah,
is the sweetest
she's the
woman. She's the
sweetest
sweetest
woman.
woman you'll ever
She
meet.
has absolutely no pretense
Right.
Aw.
whatsoever.
And your other mom is here. This is your mom, right? Djcsharp, Miss
Right.
Durham,
So,
is it?
so let me give you a quick family structure so that we can understand these moms. Because my
Mhm.
dad might be in here too, but so we can get some understanding of these family structures.
She's laughing.
So, my parents divorced when I was pretty young, and my
Mhm.
dad remarried when I was pretty young as well.
Mhm.
So, my mom thought that it was in my best interest to be raised by my father. So
Hmm.
I grew up in a
Interesting.
house with my dad and my stepmom, but she raised me since I was like 6 or 7.
Mhm.
So I don't call her stepmom. She's like mom. She's my mom. But then my mom, my actual biological mom, was always around. So I spent lots of time with her. So they kind of I use the words synonymously
Mhm.
because
Interchangeably.
they both are my moms to me, and how and for different things that we've been through and stuff like that. But it's so I use them interchangeably.
Mhm.
Miss Durham, who is my biological mother, lives in the basement of the house. We all live in the house together. So it's just
It's a
Why don't we
very
ever
nice
see her
basement.
streaming? I want to see her on camera with you
we
guys.
need to call her.
Come
Okay.
on, Miss Durham.
I had her on. I did a Motown
Mhm.
stream, all Motown songs, and she came and stood next to me and sat in the
Aw,
same room with me
that's
while I
cute.
was doing it, and got up and danced a few times. I'm supposed to be showing her the video, but I keep forgetting.
Okay. Hey, Crazy Berrytown, I see you. We got Lily P in the building. We got Queen Safa in the building as well, and then the moms, of course, we're talking about right now. IDB. I love interviewing older couples or people because they always speak the truth eventually. So
Mhm.
I find that even if they're church ladies, I do find once you get them talking after an hour, then the truth unravels. So I interviewed like an 85-year-old. She actually wanted a DJ, which was amazing. And I did her party. She's Jamaican. She wanted like a huge party at 85 years old. And she was saying all the right churchy stuff to me. I was like, okay, let me, warm her up and get the truth. And then finally, after an hour, she was unraveling how much like her kids were horrible and all this stuff that they did. Like it was hilarious actually. So I might have to talk to the moms after to find out the real truth. But we're gonna get back here, guys, as well. We got DJ Eclipse in the building as well. He says the church mom whisperer. Exactly. That's perfect. So welcome, you guys. It's awesome you guys are here. We got Junior in the building and everyone else. Miss Tiff Star, welcome all you guys. Now, of course, I always, talk about relationships, and I always hear from people like, Honey Flo, that's not realistic. Like you're living in this fantasy world about IL-2. And again, for all you guys that don't know what IL-2 is, I always talk about looking for love in IL-2 and restoring that love if you're in a relationship. Now, I joke around a lot about IL-2, but I'm always curious and always wanting to learn from people. They always say, the best people to learn from are the people that have actually gone through, the trenches. So
Sure.
if you want to learn, like, even when it comes to finances, if you want to become, say, a multimillionaire or successful, then you should be around people that are already there to really learn from. So, I guess my first question when we're talking about relationships of marriage, because again, you guys have been married 25 years, would you say your ideal thoughts of marriage have changed from when you first got married? So 25 years ago, you're thinking marriage could be this way, and then 25 years later, it's something different.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
You want to? I mean, I'm nodding. Sorry. Yes, totally. I mean, I think life happens and brings unexpected things your way. So even if we had, remained the same, which is impossible for the two of us to have remained the same, so much happens in life around you that you have to respond to, that you may have not been prepared for or planned for. That yeah, it's just no way that it could have been what we thought at we were 22 and 24,
I had just turned
25
25. I had just turned 25.
when we got married. So we were babies
Hmm.
and we had no clue about very much at all.
For
In
sure.
retrospect,
In retrospect,
we thought we knew
we thought
something.
we knew some
We
stuff.
don't, but in retrospect, we knew nothing.
Right.
Yeah, that's so true. Like, what would do you guys remember from back then? What your ideals were, like what you kind of thought marriage would be? Because I think a lot of women like were created a little bit more emotionally. At least this is from only my perspective. No one has to agree with me.
Sure.
Men are created a little bit more physical or physical beings in a way. But it's like we have different views of what we see. I think men and women. Like sometimes you could romanticize or fantasize about and it's just not realistic. Like when you put on that white dress, the whole romance of it all could probably fizzle. But like, what were your views when you first started out what marriage was?
I'm gonna say that we are super practical people. So, and that's always been true about us. We, we were kind of planning a wedding. I was a student. I went away to medical school right after college. And he proposed to me during my first year of medical school. And so I was just studying all the time and poor. And, he had, was on his first job and he had already bought a house and a motorcycle. And he was like, living his single man life. And, thought that a woman, me, was missing from that single life. But then trying to plan a wedding under those circumstances, he was still living in Maryland, I was living in North Carolina. It was just, I came from like we've already said, a strictly Christian home, so they wouldn't have wanted alcohol or
Dancing.
dancing
They wouldn't have
music
wanted
at the
dancing at the
wedding.
wedding.
Oh
And
no.
these
Oh
are things,
wow.
these are key parts of a wedding reception for for his family. So we just out of practical standpoint said, you know what, we love each other, we want to be together, we want to start our life together, we're going to just go to the justice of the peace.
Oh
So we
wow.
straight up just went to the courthouse and
$65
yes, we
is
took
what our wedding
we took
Oh.
cost.
Queen Safa Third Eye.
$65.
She was there. She was much much younger.
Was your
And,
family
um,
mad? Was your family mad at that? Like just going there and doing that?
Angry?
they-
No, I don't.
disappointed. His
My family
more
was
his his
disappointed.
his his
They
Hmm.
would
family
have
was
wanted. They wanted
disappointed
a thing, but
Hmm.
they got over it real
really
quick. I
quickly.
mean, within 24 hours, they was over it.
Really?
Because we didn't even tell them
Right.
we were engaged. Everybody knew we were getting married. But then we just upped and went decided to go to the justice of the peace, and we called them from the courthouse.
Right.
Like we didn't even give them a chance to like come and make a whole big deal,
No.
which they probably would have done. It would have been much more of a big deal even at the
Hmm.
courthouse
Yeah.
if
I
we had
mean,
given them that chance, but we didn't. And so there was that disappointment there, like, oh my God, how could you plan this major thing and not include us in the planning?
but then they was over it.
But that was our whole thing, was that, we're trying to do everything that you guys would want the wedding to be. So we're just doing this strictly for us.
So then what they
Wow.
Um,
so what they did to kind of I mean this was
yeah,
both sides of the family. We
they gave
moved
us a
like
reception.
we got married in July 12th,
Hmm.
and I moved to North Carolina where she was in August.
Hmm.
Um, and they planned a reception for us a weekend that we came
We
home
came
in
home.
October. They didn't tell us. We just said, "Hey, we're going to come home next weekend." And my father was like, "Oh, that's great." And then the next
And
thing you know, he
they
said, "Hey, we want
surprised
to take you
us.
and Yolanda out to dinner."
Right.
And we go to this place, and they've planned a wedding reception for us. So
Oh wow. Okay,
very
that's
cool.
nice. So
I'm
Miss Tiff
laughing at
Star,
myself
this is
now.
hilarious. She's like, y'all couldn't do Crazy Berry Town Zumba
Zumba
moves at the
boots?
wedding.
Nope.
I
No,
still
Nope.
can't do
no.
Crazy Berry Town's moves, and I have no one looking over me, over my shoulder. I can't even do her moves. I can't even do a body roll. So, sorry to the mothers in the chat. You know, we do talk about body rolls here once in a while. Yeah.
Hey,
I need Crazy Berry Town's moves as well. We got Classy T in the building.
Yes,
so
Classy
Classy T
T
was there.
was
She's the
there
Oh
with
only
us.
person who
wow.
was there because
Oh
we
wow.
needed
We
somebody to
needed a
watch
witness.
Queen
Yeah.
Safa.
And Queen Safa was,
We
yeah, she
needed
was
somebody to
living
watch.
with
Queen
us
Safa
for the
was that
summer.
young that we needed somebody to watch her. Classy T came with us so that she could watch her.
And she was our
Wow.
witness. So
Amazing.
yeah.
Okay.
But in terms of, so from a practical standpoint, we've always been looking, we try to look at things like how can we get it done? How can
Mhm.
we how can we have success? That is a common thread between us, and we try to keep that at the forefront. So that hasn't changed. But in terms of like having dreams of this married life, I'm like one of the most atypical women you might meet in that sense, and that I just thought that we would hang out just like we were before.
Mhm.
I stayed with him for a while over the summer before I went away to school, and he stayed with me when on his last year of school. He stayed with me on campus, so we had kind of lived together or whatever, and it
Mm.
was like movies every weekend, dinner, having fun with our friends. That's really like totally what I figured it would just be. We would be, doing this forever.
Yeah. Did you expect to last this long, honestly? Like, because there's definitely a lot of ups and downs with marriage, right? Like, when you look back, 25 years, that's like an accomplishment, especially with the divorce rate being almost 50%. I looked up in North America alone. I don't know what the UK is, but I know it's almost, 50% in North America. Marriages end in divorce or separation, especially during quarantine. It's magnified,
Mm.
So do you guys ever look back and you know just kind of, yeah, just look back at the 25-year period and say, wow, it's like we really have lasted through this?
So I never thought I never considered that we would not last.
Hmm.
That doesn't mean that there weren't points during the marriage where I said, "Is this going to last?" But I didn't go into it thinking anything other than this is going to be forever. But then, of course, you got times where she's sick of
Can we
me,
make it?
I'm sick of
Hmm.
her.
True.
Are we
Yeah.
going to make it? Is this the end? Are we really, what are we really doing here? And you just, those are the tough times. Those are the tough times. CCLJR track. That's my dad. So he's in the
Aw.
chat now too. So,
Hey fam,
um,
that's cool. The whole family's here. Hi dad, hi pops. Yeah.
so
Did
we
did DJ C Sharp get his player moves from you or
no,
what?
I can't dance anywhere near as well as he can dance.
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
They
CCLJR
can
track
they
and
can
Lily
dance.
P tear up the floor with their hand
Yeah.
dancing.
Oh,
Oh man.
they
I
can dance.
mean, they're
I've seen
superstars,
him with
local
2
superstars.
and 3 women on his
What? Really?
dancing on the
Does he
dance
wear
floor at the same
fedoras?
time,
I have a
spinning them
feeling
one at a time.
I have a feeling
And
he wears fedoras then and
he
like
does wear hats
has a
all
little
the time.
toothpick, and yeah. Oh man, Crazy Berry Town. That's hilarious. I still think about Crazy Berry Town's interview with her husband too. They gave some really great, solid advice. My first interview on my talk show was really special with Crazy Berry Town and her husband.
Oh
So
Oh
wow!
she
wow.
said, when I
Is the
got married,
video?
yeah, my mom, her first questions were, "How big was the dance floor, and who's gonna
DJ.
DJ?"
Yeah.
I
That
could
what
see that.
I
You
can
yeah,
see
know,
I can see that.
fully legit questions.
yeah,
Fully legit.
exactly.
There's
So
nothing wrong with that.
exactly. So you guys have been married, as I've mentioned throughout the show, 25 years. You just came out with a book called The Rhythm of Love, which is in
Sure.
your background right there. And I love the title. I love the book cover. I think that's awesome. And it's called The Rhythm of Love, 25 Things That 25 Years of Marriage Taught Us. So I want you guys to make sure you're adding DJ C Sharp on Twitch. Let them know where they could find the book, and how long did it actually take you guys to write this book too?
Want to tell the book story?
So you write in how they can get the book, and I'll tell the
Okay.
story how we got the book. Okay. So last July, when we were celebrating our anniversary for the actual 25 years, we actually at 26 now, but last July, when we were celebrating our anniversary, we stream on Sunday just like we always do. Our anniversary just happened to fall like on that Friday or that weekend. So we were trying to figure out what we were going to do, and we took some time just to say, hey, let's reflect and write down things that we've learned, and we can just go over them in the stream. And so she wrote down some things, and then I wrote down some things. We compared what we wrote down. We laughed about it, and it was almost therapeutic. It was a trip down memory lane. And then we went on the stream, and we turned them into little posters so that we could bring each point up so that people could see the point, and the person who wrote that particular point would talk to that point and say, this is what that means. Now, she didn't agree with all of my points, and I didn't agree with all of her points, but that's part of the point. I mean, that's part of what this is. And after the stream, people said, that was great, man. You guys should write this in a book. And we laughed about it because we don't write, not like that. I mean, I wrote a master's paper to get out of school. She wrote a master's paper, but that's the longest thing I've ever written. And it's got tons of pictures in it. So, I mean, I couldn't imagine writing a book. So shout out to author Javonda, who we talked to about this, and she encouraged us, endlessly, that you can do this. You should do this. You can do this. So we started writing. I would say we started writing in September, and we were finished by May.
Wow, that's crazy fast. Because I've talked to a lot of publishers and have gone to a lot of writing conferences, motivational conferences. Talking to so many publishers and writers, they say it usually takes at least 2 years, a year or two, to get everything published and to write like a good book. So that's crazy that you guys wrote it in such a small time too.
I mean, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Only Wiz Cox has read it. She says it's a great read with the throbbing heart.
Lady Day
Has read
really
it. She said it's a great read.
Something to say.
Sweet Jamaica sent me a note yesterday. So people who have read it have said that they enjoyed it. I would not call it a Pulitzer Prize winning, the great American novel. But, if you've been in a relationship, or you plan to be in a relationship, or you're no longer in a relationship, you can read this book and get something out of it. Because as much, I've been saying this lately, as much as marriages and relationships are different because of their circumstances and because of the people involved, the foundational things of them are exactly the same. Trust, honesty, communication, adjustments, compromise, sacrifice, all those kinds of things are foundational to any relationship that you're in. So if you're reading this, what we are trying to relay to you is not how you should do it, because I don't know how you should do it. I don't know the parameters of your relationship, but I can tell you how we did it. And this is how we did the things that we did. So that's really the essence of the book.
Now, can you guys kind of break down the titles of the chapters so people really understand, exactly what they're going to be getting in this book?
So,
okay,
you can mention a few.
I'm gonna see how she answers this. I have an answer, but let's see how she answers this.
Oh my gosh, it's a test.
You want me to hold that mic for you?
You're gonna correct me.
How many pages is the book too?
Yeah, the book is fairly short.
It's about 8. It's about
127 pages.
That's front and back. So
front to back, 127 pages.
Okay, and how much is it too, so they know?
It's $12.99.
Oh, okay. You
And I
guys,
put the
that's a
link
great
in the
price.
chat.
I
Yeah,
thought
it's
it'd be like
very
a
affordable.
$30 or something.
Oh
Canadian
no
can handle
no.
$12.99.
no
Well,
no no
$12.99 is
$12.99.
$30 for a Canadian because you guys, our dollars are so bad. I think I messaged you guys on
You
Instagram. I'm
did.
like, sending a patty pie and a book right now is like triple the amount.
Yeah,
Like just
20
shipping is like
$30.
$20, $30 for shipping.
You can get the Kindle
Can
You
you?
can get the
version.
Kindle version,
Yeah.
and we'll have
And
an
we're gonna have an
ebook version, an
audiobook
audiobook coming out soon.
coming out soon.
Oh, awesome. Okay,
Uh-huh.
so you can get like a book online then where it's not a physical book, but you could just read it
That's the
online.
Kindle. Yes, you
Oh,
can do that.
Yeah.
If you go to
If you have it,
Amazon, you can download. You can get that book. You can get the
I think the
electronic
Kindle
copy.
is only $3.99.
$3.99
oh
for the
gosh.
Kindle.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's cheap. Well, I'll definitely send you guys something else then, not just if I do get the cheaper book, I'll
Oh,
definitely
that's
send you
okay.
guys
Oh
something
no.
more.
It's
No,
okay.
Um,
no,
It's
no.
fine.
yeah. No, but I'd like to anyways.
Oh,
Well,
So you
thank
guys,
okay.
you guys hear that $12.99? That you can't beat $12.90. Heck, you can't even get a Big Mac meal at McDonald's. I'm not saying I go to McDonald's.
This is
You
true.
can't even get that for
This
$12.99.
is true.
So make sure you guys check it out. Go to the link right here. Definitely support them. I heard you sold. I saw a video today. It was over 50 books. That's
At
amazing.
We're
this
at
moment, we're at
75.
75.
That's
We're at
crazy.
Since
75.
That's
June,
awesome.
since
Yeah.
we started on
Since
June the
July.
1st, July the 1st,
1st.
July the 1st, we sold about 75 books. We have 9,925 more books to go. Because I have a goal. 10,000 books is what I'm planning to sell. 10,000 books in 10
In
years.
10 years.
Oh, it's going to
So
be shorter
gotta
than
do
10
more
years.
shows.
It's going
Okay,
to be shorter than 10 years. Mark my words,
From
And
your words to God's ears.
exactly.
Yes.
And from your
Put
moms
to
too.
manifest that into
Yeah.
the universe.
Yeah, and
That's
from
right.
your
And our mom.
and your mom as
Yeah,
well.
she's been texting us, the family group chat. Every time she finishes a chapter, she texts us with her response. Her emotional response. Sometimes she's crying, sometimes she's
Aw.
cracking up,
Yeah.
sometimes she's agreeing, like, yeah, I do that too.
Wow. No, that's so true. I think that's really good. And I see you guys not even just with the book. I mean, I see you guys traveling and speaking together, different places. Like you got to definitely think big, and again, it is something special to be married 25 years and to still continue in 2022, I think that's truly admirable. Like when I see any couples that have really, pushed through those struggles as well. Which leads me to my next question, actually. I'm a firm believer, and I think you guys are probably familiar with it, with the 5 love languages.
sure.
And
We
for those
mentioned
people,
it in the book.
oh, okay, perfect. And I'll just run it very quickly, briefly. If you guys want to Google the 5 love languages, I practice this, with my friends, with my coworkers, like anyone around me, because sometimes we struggle a lot with miscommunication, especially even on Twitch. I've had definitely my episodes with different people too, misinterpreting things or, sometimes kind of your heart as well, I feel. So I feel like the 5 love languages is a good test. And for all you guys that don't know, the 5 love languages are physical touch, quality time, acts of service, words of affirmation, and gifts. So definitely look up the 5 love languages. They say that most marriages and relationships or even friendships struggle because my love language is probably not going to be like yours. So we tend to give out what our love language is. And we think everyone wants that. For example, mine's words. So that's why you guys see me yapping away in chat rooms. I'm definitely a words person. So if someone throws back like words to me, it can hit. It could either, motivate you or help you, or it could kind of bring you down as well, right? So words are really huge for me. I'm just wondering what your love languages are, and do you think that's important in a marriage too when you're communicating with one another?
Super important because the other person is not feeling or experiencing love unless you're showing it to them in their love language. So mine is words of affirmation and touch. And C sharp.
I would say the same.
Wow.
I would say the same.
Yeah.
Gifts don't. I mean, we have had long conversations about things like
How-
gifts and service, and it's just not things that are as meaningful to us.
Mhm.
That's not to say they're not meaningful, because her birthday comes around, she likes gifts.
Hmm.
She likes gifts. So don't let her make you believe that she doesn't like
Yeah, I've made the
gifts.
mistake of saying I'm fine. I don't want anything,
Honey Flo,
and
I'll
he'll
never
never
listen to
listen
her
to that.
again.
Mm.
Honey Flo, I said, "What do you want for your birthday?" She said, I don't really need anything. I'm good." I took her at her word.
Oh
Mistake.
no, don't do
Mis-
that.
Thank
Mistake,
you.
Honey Flo.
Hmm.
Mistake.
That's a huge mistake.
Right.
Like, you know, sometimes we don't know what we want, right? Our feelings change all the time. So just
Listen.
bring the chocolates,
Listen.
bring whatever you can, the gifts.
Listen. She called people in my family to let them know how sad and upset she was at me. And when I
I mean,
So
found out,
funny.
I had to. Me and the kids went to the mall immediately
Oh
and
no.
just started buying stuff.
Yeah.
The
and
couple
see,
of days
and
after her birthday to say,
so
"I'm
this
sorry."
is this is a misunderstanding that continues because it's not like I just want stuff.
Uh-huh.
The point is, I want you to be making my day special all day, even in small ways.
Hmm.
Just, multiple have the birthdays all day long. Oh, let me pour you a drink because it's your birthday. Not that you wouldn't do it when it's not my birthday, but let's just hype up the fact that it's my special day and you're
Hmm.
so glad that I'm a part of your life.
And,
That's it.
and it's just and that's a place where we don't agree, because my
Hmm.
birthday comes and my birthday goes,
Hmm.
and I don't think very much of it at all.
Right.
And
But
it's
I do. I'm telling you, happy birthday all day.
she is.
What do
That's
we do? We went out with the Dumases, our
we
favorites.
did go out with them. We did go to
Yes.
dinner with them. But but if we did nothing,
Yeah, he would be fine.
I would be fine.
He would be totally
Hmm.
fine. If I just said happy birthday in the morning when we wake up,
We'd be good to
he'd be like, all right, let's
cool.
go. Let's bet.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. It's very rare that you see a couple that has the same love languages. So it must be a little bit easier than
It's
because
not.
No,
It's
because
not.
we
it's
give
not.
out what we like, right? So
Right.
if someone else's love language is physical touch, which is not mine, I'm like, run, like Forrest Gump. If someone's too like stage one clinger, like breathing on my neck, it's like,
Right.
why are you clinging onto me? This is weird. Like, I don't like this. But give me all the words I need. Shower me with your words. Tell me how much you love me. That words goes a long way. But with you guys, you're saying it's not having the same love languages.
It 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 I think it's been an evolution over
Hmm.
time. I don't I'm gonna say this and he can, you can fully disagree
Okay, that's
because we
fine.
haven't had this conversation before.
Hmm.
But I don't think that C Sharp was in touch with what his love languages were when we
Hmm.
first married each other. I mean, considering we were just 20, he was 25 years old. And so it took some time for him for me to be able to articulate. We didn't even learn about love languages. Like, when did that book come out? I think we were already married 10 years
Right.
before even the book came
Yeah,
out.
yeah, it came out a lot
But
later. Yeah.
yeah, so we didn't really have the words to articulate what we wanted from each other, or were in touch with what we actually needed to feel love.
Hmm.
And so, we kind of made the same mistakes as other couples might make, just not knowing how to name it, you know?
Hmm.
At
Yeah, no, that's
25,
true.
at 25, you, as a man, your love language is sex.
Sex.
Of
That's
course.
it. I
Yeah, but I feel
mean,
like it's that language is like that at any age. Doesn't matter if you're as old as
I
like
wouldn't.
Pops over here. It
Maybe,
doesn't matter.
maybe
I wouldn't say that. What I would say is, as a young man, a young virile man, you know,
Mhm.
full of full of fire
bigger.
and vigor,
Mhm.
then yes. But as you as you get older and things become less uncommon, that's the best way I
Mhm.
can describe it. Less
Mhm.
uncommon. Um, you, or I guess that's more common. Less uncommon, more common, same thing. Okay, you start to need other things. You start to need other things in order to fulfill you from your spouse.
Mhm.
That's my path. So what she's saying, I have no problem with what she's saying. I just, you know, my path was certainly, over time I needed some different things. And
Mhm.
it took, I wasn't always able to say this is exactly what I want, but I'm, you know, I try to be fair. That's what we describe. That's what we always talk about. Try to be fair and even. You know, if I'm going to demand or ask something of you, it's got to be something that I'm willing to do myself. Got to be.
Mhm. Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Growth.
true. Now, are there
Growth.
seasons like I heard Boris Kojo and Nicole Parker, his beautiful wife, in Texas speak, and they really spoke very open about their relationship and how they just felt like roommates. And they're like everyone's staring at them on the outside, saying, "Oh my gosh, they have the perfect story, meeting on soul food, and they're such a beautiful couple, and nothing could ever go wrong." But they just said that they just became roommates after a while, and it was hard getting back, keeping that fire and that love going for one another, especially when trials came as well. I think they had some trials with their kids, or one of them has a condition. Can't remember what it was, but I just appreciated their story because I thought it was really honest. So, is there times, I guess, I can't even imagine being married. Like, I hope I get to that stage, 25 years and more, you know? But like, were there seasons where you guys just felt like roommates, and how did you keep that fire and that love going for one another? Like, how did you, kind of get past that if you guys did feel like that?
It's a great question.
It is.
I'm sure there were seasons. I mean, I can think of a couple off the top of my head, but how do you keep it going? You
I think we just
you
we
just you,
we had to prioritize each
yeah, that's
other
fair
at
enough.
some point.
Yeah.
At some point, you see it happening. You're watching. It's ours. We have a similar story as Nicole Ari Parker, and because our daughter has autism and intellectual disability, and she's very severely affected. And she was our first child, and it just set everything upside down, twists and turns, like question marks, uncertainty, sadness, disappointment, pain, and like we're just feeling confused, you know, uneducated, unequipped, ill-equipped, whatever the word is. And it did, we started to focus on that in our parenting and how we could help her. And we're disagreeing on what is the best thing to do with, all the different questions we had. And our marriage is taking a back seat, where it's just so exhausted, or just, we don't have the energy to solve our own issues between us, or to take the time to think about the other. And I give a whole lot of credit to C Sharp, um, because as a mom, like, my total focus is on her, like, and I can say that I was going through a depression at the time as well, because I had to give up my job, and just like I started questioning everything about myself, everything about who I was and what I could produce and what I could bring to this world, and if I could be a good mom, et cetera, et cetera. And, I credit him for going, and I just began to withdraw from my friends and withdraw from people who could be support and provide support. It was just in basically survival mode, and he could see that about me, and he could see, how detrimental it was being to our marriage. And he was much better at staying connected to, you know eh, friends and family, and being, sharing and being honest and checking in, and other, friends that were also husbands. And I think, he kind of helped pull me from out of my singular focus that I was, to say, we got to focus on our marriage, because that's that's struggling. That's shriveling and dying on the vine, while we're trying to give so much attention to her. Um, so yeah, somebody's got to wake up and say, oh, we're all roommates, or we aren't giving any focus to our relationship. And if it's not focused, a plant that's not watered and doesn't get sunshine, it's just gonna die. And so we
I
had to
love that.
start.
What she said.
Yeah, I
What
love
she
that you
said.
mentioned. I love that you guys mentioned that, because I'm telling you, if you heard Boris Kojo, Nicole Parker's story, it's exactly almost identical to what you just said.
Wow,
And I think there's
I have to
definitely,
listen.
yeah, yeah, you have to definitely listen for sure if he's got a replay on it. There's definitely a lot of ups and downs. No relationship is perfect. And, especially in a world, such a chaotic world that we live in today, I can be honest and say it's hard to have a lot of hope when you see so much like negativity around you, or you're seeing, hey, the divorce rate is 50%, or, a lot of singles are very jaded too. A lot of marriages have not been used to being, especially here in Toronto, but I would say worldwide, because you're so busy keeping up with life, commuting, finances, so many things. So now it's like when the world halted, now you're dealing with the realization that, shoot, I haven't spent this much time with my partner or even kids, now I'm stuck at home with them. So the divorce rate has gone up substantially, especially through quarantine. What would you guys say to just encourage people out there, that have just saying, this is my last straw. Like, I can't deal with this, him or her anymore, like in quarantine, that are sitting just ready to give up. Like, what would you guys say to them?
I would say evaluate. Evaluate. And what I mean by that is you need to evaluate not just yourself, but not just the relationship, but yourself.
Hmm.
I'm not an advocate for divorce. I'm not. But sit down and really figure out what are the things that made this work for you. Why did you want this to be what it was? And be honest with one another. And sometimes you got to say some things that the other person don't want to hear. And sometimes you got to hear some things that you might not want to hear. But once you kind of can get those things on the table and everybody can figure out where they're working from, you can work from that. But you can't hold that stuff in, because holding it in is not going to do anything but make it fester. And you know, you by the time if you hold it in, by the time you finish talking to yourself and answering the questions that you have, you've had the whole conversation by yourself without anybody, without their attention. So you need one of the things we write in the book is give your spouse a chance to grow. And what I mean by that is don't make the assumption of what they're going to do or how they're going to respond or how they're going to act
Right, you feel
solely.
like you know the person so well,
Right.
you already know what they're gonna
Yeah,
say.
solely
Hmm.
based on past experience. Give them a chance to see the world different. And so present it out there and put it out there and say, this is my issue. This is where I'm struggling. And don't try to destroy one another. Try to actually have a constructive conversation, even if the conversation is a difficult one. So that's what I would say. We didn't have no problems during quarantine.
Wow.
No, none at all. I mean, we laughed and joked more than we've ever laughed and joked during quarantine. Being home together was not that big of a thing. Now, we were fortunate that we have a big enough place that everybody can go where they want to go. So Yolanda can lock herself in a room, and Nathan can lock himself in a room, and I can lock myself, and Simone can just go around knocking on everybody's door. That's what she does. She just go around
Never
knocking on
gonna close her
Yeah,
door.
She never gonna close her door. So, but you, but in general, you got to figure out what made you attracted to one another and what made you decide that this was something that you want to do. Because, and I thought about this morning. There are times that I fall in and out of love, if you want to call it that feeling that you had. But I never don't like her. I like her all the time. I like my wife. I would like her if she wasn't my wife. We are friends all the time. So, one of the I won't. I'm giving stuff away, so I don't want to give too. We don't go and give too much to say. Okay.
Yeah, make sure you guys definitely check
Okay.
out the book because you're
Because
gonna
we touch on some of this.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
in the
I
book.
touched on some of it. Yes.
We touch on this.
And it's only $12.99, guys. I mean, you can't even get a cheeseburger. How can you tell I'm in sales? You can't even get a cheeseburger for $12.99. So
We need to clip that and play that as
Yes.
one of our ads.
Yes.
Exactly. So everyone in the room, definitely get this book. It looks like an amazing book. I can't wait to sit down and read it as well. Now, we did touch base on, relationships struggling, but of course, I feel like half of the population is single, and I kind of feel like singles get missed out a lot, maybe because I'm single too myself, but I feel like, especially when you reach this age, a lot of singles I talk to and I ask, have you put yourself out there? I'm guilty of it too, but have, in the world of dating, especially, you could swipe 100 people, left or right. And that's what it's come down to in 2022, especially on Tinder or different apps, right? So what would you say to singles to encourage them? Because every time I ask, and I always hear this, especially from the ladies, anytime I ask them, have you put yourself out there? They're just like, right away, they're just like, no, I'm happy doing me. Like, I'm happy, And I find that an interesting comment because I used to say that so much too. But it's like, I never asked that question. I asked, have you put yourself out there? Like, you can still be happy and admit that it's okay to want to have like a relationship or meet someone, But I find singles like rarely say that. They just get very like, well, I'm happy, I'm good, like I'm fine with my life, And I don't know. So, any advice that you can give for singles when it comes to just meeting someone, and wanting to get married or wanting like a solid commitment from someone?
That's a tough question.
It
That's a
is.
tough
We
question.
haven't been single in a long time.
True.
So, and things have
They've
changed
changed.
so much.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I see so much animosity between the sexes.
Mhm.
Like, single guys don't go out and do things because the general advice has been, my thinking before now has been, if you are doing the things that you love, you're traveling, you're, involved in this or that club or organization or volunteer service, or, doing the things that you love, that, there you're going to meet people who are also doing those things that you love. They love them, and you already start out with that camaraderie based on that. We skate together, or we, whatever the thing, we jump off of cliffs together. Whatever the thing is that you love to do. And because our relationship sprung out of a friendship, and I think that so many married people that we've spoken to who have gone, who are going the distance, the friendship is so key. Like Clarence said that a few minutes ago, the friendship is so key. You like each other, you like to be around each other, you make each other laugh, or you make each other think, or you make each other, better in some way. And so that would have been what I would say. But right now I feel like there's just so much animosity between the sexes. Like it's all
Mhm.
about what somebody's bringing to the table,
Mhm.
and can you afford the lifestyle that I want, or can she cook well? And you have this list of all these things that you want the other person to meet, or to balance out to, and you're just checking people against the list the whole time, as opposed to getting to know people. Like even on Tinder, or whatever the dating apps are, like swiping through those things, how are you ever, this is just a face, a 2D face, the best picture they could find, or whatever that they're putting out there. And like, where are those kind of more, I guess, conventional ways of getting together, of like, based on, your interests, um, based on, doing things together that you like. So I don't know. That
I,
wasn't advice, I
yeah,
guess.
I don't have a formula for a single person other than put yourself. I mean, you said put yourself in a position and allow yourself to be open to understand yourself and allow yourself to be open to new things and new experiences and new people. Really, I'm not saying sleep with every man you come across or sleep with every woman. I'm not saying spend all your money. I'm not saying don't proceed with some level of caution, but be open-minded and not jaded. That
Yeah, I
that
think
that
there's a
is
lot of
that is
jadedness.
Yeah, for
it has
sure.
to be this way. Don't allow yourself an opportunity for the door to be open, even if the door. So I have a friend
Mhm.
who she's not very tall, and she likes taller men, and she started going out with this guy who she had under normal circumstances she would never go out with because he was shorter than her, and they went out. She got over that he's shorter than me, and then she found out he was a jerk. So once she found out he was a jerk, it made it much easier for her to move on to something else, but she allowed herself even that opportunity that this guy who was
Even
shorter
though
than
he's
her
short. Yeah.
would be a guy that she might like, and she got a dinner out of it. So I don't have no issue with her for doing that.
Yeah. Would you say that maybe throw out your lists? Because I think as you become older, like you're not thinking, oh, hey, he's attractive, she's attractive, let's just date. Like, not like you're 20 years old. Now, especially if you live in a big city, you're thinking mortgages, finances, can this guy protect, provide, but a lot of women, I think, sometimes with men it's like they're not superheroes, like they're human, right? So would
Sure.
you say kind of maybe loosen up, I guess, like you said, on the height requirement, or maybe the lists that don't really matter? Like, would you say kind of loosen up on that list? I think it
Yes.
becomes harder as you get older, because as you get older you're more stuck in your ways a little bit than
I,
when you're younger. You're kind of growing into each other. I don't know, what do you
I
guys
think your
think?
list has to morph. I think your list has to be more about, this sounds, I'm not sure how it sounds. Your list has to be refined to things that are really important and not things that are quite so superficial.
Hmm.
Um, my father-in-law had, and we just said this to my son this morning, that the best looking man in the entire world is one going out the door to work. He looking
Wow.
good, good, good if he walking out that door going
Going
to
to
work.
work.
And I laugh about that, but that is, if you got if you got a woman who is doing certain things and trying certain things, then you might have to dial it back if she can't cook Thai food. But if she cooks soul food and she do okay with it, then you just might have to let
Hmm.
that work for you. Just
Right. And why can't you both cook?
why can't you? Or
Why
maybe I
can't
need to
you?
learn how to cook some
Right.
Thai
Maybe
food
he's the cook.
and
He's the
help
chef.
bridge this gap a little bit so that I can get my needs or get some of the things that I want and she can give me the other things that I don't have. So I just say you got to refine that list and make that list about the things that are
The
truly
most
important
important,
things.
yes, not the things that you can post on Instagram about, because it's sometimes it's more intangible than that.
For sure.
You
Would you
know,
say relationships are more about like, I've never looked at relationships like that, but now I'm starting to, that it's more about purpose. Like it's more about legacy. Maybe I'm a little bit deeper thinker on things. I never used to think that about relationships, but now I feel like two are more better joined together than one. So it's like you got to
mm,
kind of figure out your purpose together and support it while you have life, like while you're here.
You
So
sure?
what do you guys think of that?
I think it's a fair state. So
yes.
Yolanda doesn't particularly like when I say this what I'm about to say, but it's because not bad. It's just,
Mhm.
I say things like the Western romanticized relationship structure is just that. For thousands of years, that wasn't how people got married. They got married
Mhm.
because two families decided that you and you need to be together for the purpose of keeping these family legacies going in certain ways. And I'm not saying it's fair. What I'm saying is there has to be a balance between that and I'm every time I see this man, he just
He just lights my
he lights my
fire,
fire.
and I got butterflies.
My
Mhm.
mom tells this story about my stepfather that she said, he when she got off a plane one day, and this is pre 9/11. She got off a plane one day, and he was standing in the terminal with flowers for her in his suit, and she said that day he looked like Billy D. Williams, is what she says. On that day,
Hilarious.
he looked like Billy D. Williams to her. And that's what I mean by, you know, you can get some of that, but that man, my stepfather, was also super hands-on. He fixed
Mhm.
anything,
Build
then,
anything.
but then at the same time, he didn't always
Com-
talk to her too much as much as
Mhm,
she wanted to, and
mhm.
she would call and she would say, he didn't compliment me on my food, or he didn't do this, because her love language is words of
Words?
affirmation.
Yeah.
And I would have to say to her, I know that he didn't do this or he didn't do that, but he is a really good guy. A really good guy. He takes care of you. He's there for you. He thinks about you. So, those are the kind of things. My dad, and I can do this all day, with my, with all of the different things that conversations I've had with my parents about the stuff that they go to. My father can be the word that Yolanda uses and my biological mother used is, my father can be a force.
Mhm.
And my stepmom has managed that force for 47 years. They've been married for 47 years. So, but if you peel back the onion a little bit and spend some time with them, you'll find out she really is the one that got this engine running. This engine runs because of her. So you got to just know what these things are and play to your strengths. I mean,
Mhm.
that's a great way to say it. Play to your strengths and lift up the other person's weaknesses and allow that other person to play to their strengths. That's a good way to say
Yeah, that's really great. He sounds like he was acts of service or maybe gifts, if he had
it.
flowers
Right.
or different things
Definitely
ready.
acts of service.
He
Yeah,
definitely acts of service.
definitely acts of
Definitely
service,
Mhm.
acts
but
of service
probably gifts too.
and gifts are
Yeah,
definitely
yeah,
my
yeah.
dad's love language.
Aw.
Definitely.
Yeah, because I see couples fighting all the time, like, like the boyfriend's like building her a beautiful garden, and he's like, look what I did, like I painted everything for her, I built her a
Right.
garden, like what does she expect from me? and
Right.
then and then she's like upset because she's more words or quality time. She's like, he's not spending any time with me or
Right.
saying
He's
that
always
I
out there
look
building.
great. Exactly. I see that with my friends right now, and I could see it's the total love language thing, right? The disconnect. And I know DJ Eclipse earlier asked, what are the 5 love languages? I just went over them earlier on in the show, and we only have like 15 minutes left. Oh, it's killing me because there's
You
so
could
many.
you could keep her.
Yeah, I'm trying to go very,
Yeah,
very fast.
only one of us has
Only
to
one of
leave.
us has to
I
go.
know.
Has
I
to
don't want
go.
you guys leaving. We're just
I know,
starting. I
I
knew it would be
know.
like a 3-hour. Like I could chop it up with you guys for hours. I already know it. You
We'll have to
know
have a part 2.
exactly. But
You can come
before,
on our stream.
okay, definitely. Before you leave, though, I want to know what are some qualities that you love about her, and what are some things that kind of like might annoy you a little bit. You know, if we're honest, before you leave. But be careful. Be careful here.
Oh,
Yeah.
believe me, I'm well acquainted.
Yeah.
There won't be any surprises. Let me see.
Yeah.
Will there be?
Let me think about this for a moment.
You can be honest, babe.
Yeah, you could be honest.
Because when
Honestly,
you leave, I'm going to talk about you.
exactly. And it's always good to be honest, like with everything we do. You know, our stories, our ups and downs are always for someone else. And that's why it's really important to really be as transparent as you can with your story and, you know, your background, where you've come from, because there's always someone that it can help, you know, out there too.
Let's see. What so I admire her heart. She has, you know, I'm a more gruff, and it's kind of not true, but I'm the more she's I'm gonna tell the truth.
Okay.
She is the better at connecting with you emotionally and dealing with a situation. Like I always will withdraw and peel back and say, I'm gonna let you handle this, because you're gonna say the words, and you're gonna give the person the tenderness that they need. I'm gonna give them the information that they need. And sometimes that's not helpful. People really sometimes need you to connect with them before they can actually hear what you're saying, even if what you're saying is right. So that's what I appreciate about her. What annoys me about her is the same thing. So
What? That's
it's the exact
confusing.
same thing, because she gives people the benefit of the doubt way too much for me.
Mm.
And she talks to me sometimes, and we have this conversation. I say, why you always got to play devil's advocate to me? Why why is there always the faintest possibility that what I'm saying is wrong, and you got to make me aware that there's a faint possibility that I could be wrong about this? What are we talking about? Is this really of value, or you just want to let me know? And she'll say, well, I'm just saying what I'm saying. And I'm like, what am
And,
I supposed to?
and
She's
you
heard
should
this term.
listen.
She's
How
heard
many
this
times
term.
have I been
She's heard
right?
this time. What am I supposed to do with that?
But how many times have I been right?
How many times she has been right? Plenty.
But and you have been right as well.
And I have been right plenty as well. So, but one of the things that I have said on a number of occasions is the thing that bothers you the most about your wife or your spouse. You have to figure out how you're going to deal with that, because once you get married, it's only going to get worse.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to get better. It's only going to get worse, and it's only going to annoy you 100 times more.
Yeah.
So, you know, we just approach those types of things differently. I want to get to solution. She wants to get to feeling good. At least that's my impression.
Feeling good?
Solution is secondary to feeling good. That's how I would
Understanding is first,
Okay,
and then
understanding.
solution.
See, and
That's so true.
I'm like,
He just wants to
solution.
jump straight to solution.
Solution
And
is
sometimes
fine.
what you think is a solution is not exactly it, because you're in the wrong place. You're solving the wrong problem because you don't understand yet.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Interesting. So
Just
you guys,
sometimes.
I know you have to probably leave now, right? It's 6:38.
I got 8 minutes to hear what she got to say.
Okay, yeah, I know. I
He
wish I could
turns
go on
towards
longer.
me.
I'm trying to speed through the questions as fast as I can, but I have definitely a lot more for you guys. Um, what are some qualities you like about DJ C Sharp? And maybe I should have done the sandwich technique. Start off with the things that annoy you, and then the good qualities.
First, yeah, something to say. Yes, I was feeling you totally on that. She was saying that similar thing on a different conversation we had. Um, but things that first you said first annoy and then what's good?
Yeah, yeah. I'll do the
Okay,
sandwich technique so we have no
okay.
disagreements after my talk show because I'm all about the love in aisle 2. So,
Trust me, we have these kind of conversations all the time, and we'll find a way to circle back. But we're
mhm,
gonna leave it on the positive. So the thing that annoys me, I think, probably is the thing he just said. At this is jump to how do we solve it before we even actually know what the problem is that we're solving, before we even come to a meeting of our minds where you understand what I'm saying and I understand what you're saying. Even if we still disagree, let's get that part done.
mhm,
Um, but and then what do I love the most about I, I just love what he's brought to my life. Like, we are complete opposites. Like I said, I'm an introvert. I would never be doing what we're doing right now if it wasn't for C Sharp saying, "Come
mhm.
on to my
Aw,
show."
that's
And
awesome.
then when we had that anniversary stream and people were like, "Oh, you should do something. You should do something." You know, he was the one who started writing his chapters first
Mhm,
and like jump in and dove in. And so I really love how he doesn't wait for permission. He doesn't wait for himself to figure everything all out. I mean, he does kind of think he knows already.
I
That's
do.
part of it.
I do.
I don't know how he thinks he knows all these things. They just born knowing them,
Pretty much.
but he just jumps right in, and he pulls me with him. So many things I have done and places I've gone. We went and stayed in an ice hotel overnight because C Sharp. I wasn't going to do that.
Quebec.
That wasn't.
It was
Yeah, we
very
were
nice.
in Quebec.
Quebec was
It
very
was
nice.
awesome.
oh, nice.
Yeah,
Canada. Nice.
yeah. So we have been to your fair nation.
Yeah.
But so I like how he will just jump in, and consequences we'll figure out all the stuff as we go along. Whereas I want to figure it out every before. Well, what about this? And what if this? And we have to prepare for this. And then,
Mhm.
you'll never order with the book. I would have edited the hell of it. Just editing, trying to make it better, better, better. And he is just like, let's just do it. Okay, let's go to print. The editor
Mhm.
says it's great. She hardly had any edits. Author
Right.
Javonda read it. She thought it was fantastic. She
But
hardly had any edits. Let's go to print. So yeah, that's what I like
That's
about it.
awesome. So I love that. We got 3 minutes left. One question that always seems to come up with marriage between me and my friends, and we always debate because, you know, we're so different in our views. But what do you guys think about a prenup? Like, do you guys kind of agree with it, disagree with
I
it? Do you
mean,
think it's kind
we
of
had
setting you up
nothing.
for
We didn't have
failure
any.
or trust?
We had nothing. So
Yeah.
so it didn't come into so
Play for us
play for
because
us
we
like
were
that. Now,
just
let me tell you where it
friends.
came into play. Let me tell you the only place it came into play was the wedding. Remember, she said we were planning a wedding and we talked about the dancing and all those things. But the other part about that wedding was I was basically paying for the wedding. So I'm saying to myself, you, you're
We've already talked about how I come from very humble beginnings in a humble home.
I mean, it
So
had nothing to sure, but I said people can't dictate how we get married if they're not writing checks. So what are we talking about here? If you're not writing a check, how can you
I wasn't
dictate
right to check.
this? So that was the beginning. Now, after that, once we got married, it has always been our money from day one. We had one conversation very early on where I use I'm gonna use the term loosely, but I use money as a weapon in a relationship. And I told her I would never, ever, ever do that again. And from that day on, it's a joint checking account, full access. there's no. She got side
even
money.
though
She got
even though I
she
was
got
a
side money.
stay-at-home
She got
mom,
side
I'm
money.
still a stay-at-home
She got
mom for the
side
most
money.
part.
She
Yeah,
got
I do
she
have
got. I don't
side.
have no side
But you
money.
have side
I
money.
don't have no side
Well,
money.
you did
We think
pour
she
your
got
side
side
money
money.
in
I
the
think she
jar.
has side money too.
I
I
know
think
she
she's
got
like,
Oh,
side
I
money.
do have side
She
money.
got side money.
she's got in the pillow. She's got it in the couch. She's
She
got it
got break
everywhere. She's
glass
probably
just
getting
in
side
case.
money from the books you guys are selling and stashing it somewhere. So
She got break
A woman has
glass
to take
just
care of
in case
herself.
money. So, but anyway, so for as a prenup goes, that is a problem for people who were born into money or who made lots of money later on. We didn't
And I
have no money when we came in together. I was making $28,000 a year when we got married, and
Mhm.
and
and the real question for a prenup is like, Clarence mentioned this before. We both went in like this is forever. We're not, we're on the same page about we understand that marriages have issues come up. Now to the level
Mhm.
that they did, we didn't know, but we knew that it wasn't just going to be we skipping down the road so happy together, and then as soon as we get upset with each other, as soon as it's not fun anymore, or as soon as there's problems, then we would just part. We went into it knowing that we were going to have to do some hard work in order to make it last. And so the question is not whether you have a prenup or not, it's whether you're on the same page, I think, about it.
but I don't
Like
I
in
don't have a
terms of about the, because Honeyflow, you said that, will it does it seem like you're setting yourself up for failure because you have this contingency plan, like if we fail, etc. But I don't think there's anything wrong with the contingency plan. I just think, what's the mindset of each of us going in? Is it that we're going to do everything we possibly can to make this work, and it's going to be hard and it's going to get ugly sometimes, and the prenup is only because I have millions of dollars, and it would only be fair. The woman can say can see, or the man can see, whoever's the one not coming in with the money, and say, yes, that was your money, it should go back to you when we part. So whether you're the question is always the mindset of whatever we're trying to agree or not agree upon in terms of a prenup. Are we doing it for the same reasons and the right reasons? Is everybody being forthcoming and kind of saying out loud, like especially now, as like you said, in an older age, you would have to think about that. We didn't have to think about that at 20 whatever. You know Being able to kind of lay those things out on the table and have a real conversation about, what I think marriage should be, what it is I plan to invest into it, and what I expect you to do.
and
And
come
Mhm.
to a
Agree.
decision. And
yeah,
even if you don't agree, and it means that you don't get married, come to that decision.
yeah, it's better that you
Come to that
find
decision.
out then that no, we're never going to be on the same page about this. It's much better that you find out then and say, oh well, I guess we probably shouldn't
And
get
and it,
married.
and it's okay.
And it's okay.
Mhm.
It's better than okay. It's
Yeah.
the
You
best
better check her
scenario you
pillow
can
tonight,
have
DJ
when
C
you
Sharp.
find out that
Huh?
You better check her pillow tonight, DJ C Sharp. I think she has a bundle of money, the
I
side
know
money
she got.
Tom's talking
So
about.
first, Honey
Like,
Flow,
check it in the pillow. I
she
think
got.
it's like a big stash.
She
am
got.
I
She
talking
got.
like a person who has a lot of
She got money. It's
stashed
Or
away?
side money.
maybe she
Twomp even said it in
like
the chat. Side
yeah.
money. Exactly.
Maybe
Twomp.
she has
Side
it like
money.
in the floor or in the wall. I don't know. You better check around the house.
Side
Use a
money. She
use a
got it.
metal detector.
I gotta go get
But
my.
so I know you guys have to leave. Oh, I wish I could keep you guys for another hour. But okay, I'm gonna just end off with one quick question, if that's okay. Do you guys have time
Sure.
for one last question? I'll try
Yeah.
and make it fast.
Yes.
But I just wanted to also know too, because I know you're faith based from what I've seen on Instagram or seen some of your shows. Like, how has your faith actually played a role in your marriage? And do you think that's important,
She asked the
to
question. That's the
have?
last question she asked.
That's the last question.
Wow. Okay, C Sharp may have to leave before we really get to the question. I mean, okay, let me say this, Honey Flow. If you
Mhm.
really think that you have a whole other hour in you, he will only be gone a short time. He's just going to pick up my daughter and
Come back.
come back. So if you want to keep going, we can. We don't have to stop because that
Okay, yeah,
question
that's
you
awesome.
just
I'm not sure if
asked,
I yeah, maybe. Yeah.
it we could play by
Y'all
ear.
keep
It's
going.
up to
I'll be
you.
back.
But
Okay, yeah,
okay,
let's
All
do
right.
that. You
So
pick up
so
your daughter, and I'll ask her perspective. And when you come back, you better race on the highway back.
okay.
But we
yeah,
could
All right.
20
also
minutes.
ask the chat room too.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
So
saw a good question
All right.
from Stirs the
Stirs,
Soul
yeah, Stirs
earlier.
always has
Yeah.
awesome questions
Oh
for
yeah,
real.
and tall pumps.
And one thing I was going to say, guys, again, make sure you guys buy their book. It's called The Rhythm of Love, 25 Years of Marriage. All the ups and downs. They're truly transparent couple. They're always one of my favorite couples to watch on Twitch. I love jumping in their chat room, joking with them, and just like chopping it up. And I love the fact that you guys allow me to just be me. Like some rooms are just like, mods are like this, like stop, you're way too much. But I love that you just like roll with people and
Yeah,
you
because we're
know
too much.
yeah, and you
We're too
guys you
much.
guys
So
have
we
you
got
guys have
grace.
fun. Yeah, and I love that. I really do, and I really appreciate it too, because some nights I could be a little yappy. So make sure you guys buy the book here, guys.
Thank
We've been
you. Thank
talking
you.
about it. It's only $12.99. Again, you can't even get a Big Mac meal for $12.99. You can't even get a pair of shoes for $12.99. You can't get, so definitely $12.99. Author Javonda says, yes, buy the book. And I see you tall pumps here as well. We're going to go up to some of your questions. Feel free to help me as well if you guys have any questions for them on relationships or just the book or just in general. Definitely post, but we are kind of digging in a little bit more on relationships. I just felt, these are some of the questions I've had as well. So I was curious, yeah, going back to that question, how has your faith played a role in your marriage too?
Okay. So can you still hear me?
Yep, yeah, I can hear
Okay,
you.
good.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, I lost my hearing just now. But um, uh, so that's like huge. And it's been different roles in different stages of our marriage. So in the very beginning, it was something that almost kept us from getting married. Because we already talked about how I was raised in a religious home. We Christianity and the Bible, and my dad was a preacher, so the Bible is the book of the house, the book of how you lived. You checked the Bible first, and then you made your decision about how you were going to go. Um, and so you know, um, we dated. When I left my house, I rebelled like some young people do, and I was like, let me see what the whole wide world is about. And that's how I met Clarence, because I wasn't living this way that would have kept us apart. You know what I mean? And so but then when we started talking about marriage and talking about forever, I was like, wait, wait a minute. Everything that I've learned is still deep down within me. And I'm not saying that Clarence wasn't, he didn't recognize that God exists and that his parents, he, was raised in a from a Catholic and Baptist background. So it's not like we didn't have anything in common in that area, but it wasn't to the level of where, this is how your guide every single step is check the Bible first. And so, I had seen, been a part of a church with lots of families and lots of marriages, and, being, a preacher's kid, you kind of have something of an inside view. And so I was just like, you know what? I don't think we should, that whole phrase unequally yoked came to mind. And I was like, maybe not. Maybe we should not actually go and start a forever life if we don't agree on this one thing about, making God the center of your life and the center of your marriage. And through a whole rigmarole of this, that, the other, Clarence did come along to actually become a believer and have his own relationship with Christ in the very beginning. When I was like, maybe we shouldn't get married. And at first, he bucked against that. Like, are you serious? I'm a great guy. I have X, Y, Z. Let's go down the list of all the good qualities I have. What could I possibly be missing? And, he got some advice from friends and family to say, well, maybe just try it out. Just try out what she's talking about. And he started to do the research for himself and, really found out that having his own relationship with Christ was important and beneficial to him as well. So that was the beginning of our marriage. He was coming in as a very new Christian, and I was coming in as kind of like a person, who was on the fence too much, and 1 minute, I'm saved and sanctified, and the next, I'm doing what I want to do. So, but then our daughter came along, and even though we had, we were part of a church, and we, went to church every day, it's something, it required a deeper connection for me. Like I said, I was going through a depression and just not understanding, like, we did, everything quote unquote right. And now, we have to deal with this very hard thing that no one in our family has ever dealt with. And no one to really kind of lead or guide us in this way. And so I really started to just dive deep into the word, and then into what I believed and what God was able to do. And then this whole kind of life we were living about, whether Simone was going to be delivered, and did we have enough faith for her to be delivered. And I think, why does it say, am I still here?
Yeah, yeah, you're still
I
here.
am?
Yeah. Does it
Okay,
say
because
something similar?
StreamYard is giving me this whole message saying that I'm not connected. That's so
Oh, that's
interesting.
strange. If you disconnect,
Maybe I'm connected through Clarence's. That's probably it.
oh,
Okay,
that's
never
weird.
mind. Crisis
Uh-oh.
averted. So,
Okay. If you disconnect,
okay.
jump back on
Yes.
again. Jump
Yeah.
on the link again. Yeah.
Okay.
But we could
Um,
still hear you. Yeah.
okay, good. But can you see me? Am I frozen or anything
Yeah.
like that?
No, no,
Okay.
you're good.
All
You're
right.
good.
All's
Yeah.
good. All right. Thank you. Um, and so we started, really taking our relationship from a religious standpoint, from a faith standpoint, to a whole different level, because now we're not just talking about, am I living for God, or am I, you know, being a proper Christian. I'm not phrasing this right, but I don't know if anybody can relate to what I'm saying. But there's one thing, for everything in your life to be fine. We both were employed, we both were happy on general terms with each other and with our lives that we were living, the bills were paid, you know there was no issue. And then you have this huge thing happen to you, and you start to seek for answers at such a much deeper level than ever before. And so that's what we both were doing. And So that took us, some different directions. Like I said, can Simone be delivered, et cetera, et cetera. Um, and we really just have come down to this level of belief where it's like, we she's first lady T Rail. I'm probably saying her name wrong, but I've been in chats with her, and she will say things like, she and her husband pray together or pray over each other, and that, they have this really strong spiritual aspect of their relationship. And ours is not as tangible as that, but in terms of always having our faith and our belief in God be just a guiding factor for us is where we are now. So I said a whole bunch of
Mhm.
words. I hope that sounded like a
No, that
story.
I
It's just
yeah,
an
I think
evolution.
no, it's great. Yeah, I think it's really good because I think people can relate whether they're in relationships or not, right? I think sometimes like human beings, because we're so imperfect and a lot of us are broken, every single one of us, it doesn't matter how, we gloss on Instagram or how big and perfected we portray our families. Everyone has a story, everyone has struggles, and I think I think that's very relatable what you said, that sometimes you need more, especially in really difficult trials that we all go through. Like you mentioned with your daughter, having autism, I believe your daughter, and kind of going through depression and going through, a disconnect too. And they usually say that you do go through a disconnect when you have kids, right? Because the wives or the mothers are spending so much time with the kids as
Mothering,
well
yeah,
that the husbands could kind of get like
feel left
um,
out or
exactly, like
feel
that could
neglected.
also
Hmm.
create problems too. So I think you're reminding me to get back to what's important too, right? So that's why I kind of asked you that question
Yeah,
because I was
no, it was a
curious
good
about
question.
that. Yeah. So I know there's some questions in the chat room from Tall Pumps. Thank
Yes,
you,
very
Author
good ones.
Javonda. Really
Yes,
awesome questions, you guys.
yes.
Feel free to keep posting because we're also extending this till DJ C Sharp comes by. So you could actually tell us before he comes back. He could be listening in the car, but before he comes back, where do you keep your secret stash of money? Like, do you keep it in the pillow? Do you keep it like, under the kitchen faucet? Like, what do you do? Did you like kind of do a hole in the wall and you slipped in the money there? Like,
I
where
would
is it?
I
I
would
won't tell him.
never tell. It's no longer secret once I tell.
Is it like in your backyard somewhere? I'm curious about where you keep your secret stash. But Stirs had a great question earlier on, a few questions. This is why Stirs needs a show. Boy, you need a show. I'm going to be on you until you actually get a show on Twitch because you're going to blow up more than all of us. Like he's going to
Yes,
become partner within like a week. Meanwhile, we've been 2 years on Twitch. Like,
yes.
and I already know it. So if you guys missed our interview, he actually interviewed me last week. It turned out a lot deeper than expected, than I thought I would share, but it was supposed to go the way it was supposed to go.
I'm so
And
glad said I missed that. But do you put your recordings up on Twitch?
yes, I do. So make
Okay.
sure you guys check out
Yes.
the replay. He did an awesome job. He interviewed me and he made a beautiful sketch too. While we were interviewing, he was actually sketching me, which I thought was
Oh
really unique and
wow.
really, really cool. He definitely has a talent. So, but Stirs is always one that brings thought provoking, like intellectual, not to big him
Yes.
up that
Yes.
much. We're only going to big him up this much, not this much. But anyways, Stirs always brings great conversation to chat and topics. So his question is, what was the one thing about DJ C Sharp that you told yourself that's okay, I can work on that part?
That's a really good question. And I hope he's listening in
He
the
just said
car.
he missed. Look at that. I'm giving you flowers. You don't even give me electronic flowers in chat rooms. I just gave you
And he
a bunch
missed
of
it all.
flowers verbally, and you missed it all. You're gonna have to check the
You
replay.
have to
I'm done with you.
listen to the replay, Stirs. But
I'm done with
that's
you.
hilarious. Um
So yeah, you're gonna have to check the replay, Stirs. We're going back to your question. Yeah.
okay, so I'm gonna say I'm gonna say, and C Sharp knows this too. Um when when it's time to dress up and step out and be like, suited down, he's great at that. He's
Hmm.
great at, coordinating that whole look of the suit and the tie or not the tie or that kind of thing. But on an everyday basis, This man's is t-shirt and jeans. So yeah, it's okay. I can work on that part.
So that's one thing that you could work on. So
Yes.
ladies,
So he knows to just check with me. Okay. What am I good? Is this good
I
for
see
us
you're
for me
giving
to
a
wear to
nice
this?
sandwich technique there, just
Yeah.
in case he's listening. You're playing it safe, which is okay because he probably is listening in the car. Let's see here. Okay, Tall Pumps always has great questions too. She's another that always brings,
Yes. Always.
honesty and a lot of questions and
Look,
really
maybe
great
Stirs
ones.
and Tall Pumps need a show together,
Yeah. Hey, Tall Pumps, you got to
an
think about
interview
that.
show. Yes.
Exactly. She always brings thought-provoking questions too. So she says, I wonder as we change physically and mentally during the years, how did you two address those changes? Or is communication really the key to working through those changes? Great question.
I mean, you're answering your question within your question, Tall Pumps. Communication is so key. And how you say it is just as important as what you say. Um, Even when you have to say something hard, you know, like I said that, I was really going through a depression for a good chunk of our marriage when our daughter was young. And C Sharp had to say the hard things to me sometimes and I had to be in a place of trust to say he's not going to ever say something just to hurt me. Even if it hurts to hear, he's not going to say something just to hurt me. And he's a very kind of gruff guy, like he said. He just kind of just jumps to the point and, doesn't sandwich things like we're doing, Honey Flow. And so, it took me having to look at the whole of C Sharp, the whole of C Sharp, and that even if something he's saying to me in the moment feels hurtful, I know that he's not trying to hurt me. So let me peel away, my emotional response, my immediate emotional response, or um, and sometimes that would take days to peel that away because I
Hmm.
would have such a strong response to what he was saying, trying to encourage me and trying to, push me to, because he's not a mental health professional, so he can only pull out of himself what he has inside. And I had to realize that is a place, it's coming from a place of love. It sounds hard to me and it sounds harsh, but it's coming from a place of love. um
Hmm.
and that's, and vice versa, when I have something hard to say to him, back when we before we had kids, we see, and I'm giving away stuff from the book too, so I'm not going to go there. But because I want y'all to read and be
Yeah,
surprised.
make sure you guys check the book,
Yes.
buy the book, buy it. And you know what? You guys, tonight I'll say you get a Honey Flow discount. Only
Yes.
$12.99.
Oh my
Twelve
God.
ninety
I
nine.
didn't. We were supposed to say that from Jump Street. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. You
By
notice
tonight, it's
you
20%
notice
off.
20% off. You're not supposed to say that. I'm in sales, girl. You're supposed to make them think they're getting a discount. That's why I said the Honey Flow discount, twelve
No,
ninety nine, which is technically full price anyways, but
but but this is the thing. We were supposed to text you beforehand. There actually is a Honey Flow discount
oh my
tonight.
gosh, that's
if
hilarious.
you
Oh, I didn't
type
know that.
if you type Honeyflow in the promo code, you will get 20% off, but it's only tonight.
Yeah. Oh,
So
okay. So that's great.
it was already such a great deal, as Honeyflow has pointed
No, it
out.
is a great deal,
Already
you
a
guys.
great deal. But we actually, that was our idea before we came on stream, and we were so busy trying to fix the sound that we forgot to tell you. I thought C Sharp had
Oh,
texted you, but
I
he
just
probably
kind of
was trying
made
to
that
work
up.
on the sound. I know,
I just
which
made
was
that. But
hilarious.
honestly, you guys, for $12.99, you can't go wrong. Like literally, what can you buy for $12.99 in this? I can't even buy French fries out here in Canada. Like, it's so pricey, you know. I can't even buy a tiny smoothie for $12.99 anymore. They're like $15. So yeah, so I would say, you know, with or without the discount, definitely support them. I
Yes.
mean, it takes a while to write a book, to publish a book, and I know Javonda probably knows this as well. Expenses,
Yes.
shipping. I thought the book would be
Yes.
like $30, $40. So $12.99. I mean, anyone can really do that to support. And if you guys could also, my Stream Elements hasn't been working. So if you guys could actually put their links to Twitch, so you guys could add them on Twitch in the chat room, I'll be sure to post it too. Feel free to also host the show if you're feeling the vibe tonight. That helps a streamer like myself out there. So
Yes.
definitely host and feel free to follow. You know, feel free to follow as well if you're digging the show. So I know author Javonda said this is another great question. After 20 years of marriage, do you set goals for your marriage? I love that question.
Yes. Um, oh wow. I think we set goals for our family. Um, we probably should set goals for our marriage. Um, but you know, we've spent a lot of time and investment on these kids, and
Mhm.
they're, especially lately, you know, they're just getting into this transitioning into adulthood. Our son is going to be going to college in September, and our daughter is transitioning out of youth services to adult services. So, you know, if we really have been setting goals for our family and how we want to, you know, be a part of their transition, and what we want to see from them and what they want to see from themselves, you know. Um so yes,
I think that's
that,
a great idea, actually, even
yeah, I
though
think it's an awesome
I think that's a
idea,
really great idea.
and
It's
it's
kind of,
something we haven't done in a long time.
yeah.
Yeah.
What about like dating? Do you guys like actually set up like date nights or anything? Or is it like,
Sis.
hey, let's roll over to the next room to Twitch? That's our date night. Like, I think that might be a good idea to plan a date night even after this long, you know?
Yes, yes, it's an awesome idea. These are the classic the conventional advice stands. Yes. Focus on your marriage enough to make date nights. I know marriages that where they have a specific night of the week. Every week they go out. And I dream of a life like that. Um I think a lot of what we do or don't do is kind of based on the fact that, you know, we have a child with special needs, and so it takes a lot of care and planning and rigmaroling family members and non-family members into, you know, into being our support and helping us get away. But when we can, we do, even
Hmm.
if it's for, you know, a short trip. You know, most of the time we keep our trips to pretty short. It's a close trip, it's a staycation, it's a, can we sleep in together, you know. The fact that C# works from home, so even before COVID he had been home with us or with me, and then, you know, the kids go away to school all day long, so we have lots of time that we spend together, lots and lots. He doesn't have a really super stressful job that keeps him, you know, he might have days here and there, or, you know, time frames where he has to really buckle down and work
Hmm.
all day long. But typically, you know, we're able to fit things in. You know, we'll just go to lunch, or we'll just go, you know, go to the movies, you know, while
Hmm.
the kids are at school. And of course he does this with the job knowing that he's not going to be there, and he prioritizes getting his work done for any HR people that are in the chat.
Hmm.
um
I know,
but
eh? People are always like, why do you keep it so corporate, honey Flo?
yeah,
Like, what's
you're
going
correct.
on with you? I'm like, have you not noticed employers do Google Twitch? They Google everything. They Google your entire life. So
Yes.
it's funny that you mentioned that because
Yes.
They at least Google here. I don't know how it is in the
Yes.
States or the UK,
Yeah,
but they
no, it's
like
like that in the States.
run
They know.
background checks on you like they're customs, you know? Like they're
Believe
like
me.
I'm at the Canadian customs border. So yeah,
Right.
they're probably
Exactly.
Googling us right now, you know?
Exactly.
Now they
So
know.
he see because C Sharp when he does a Thursday stream too. So shout out to Last Train to Friday, but he does a Thursday raid train stream, and he he did get in trouble early on with his boss because somebody noticed that he was streaming at like 4 o'clock instead of after 5. So he did have to change his streaming time for
Oh,
that
that's so
reason. So yeah,
crazy.
they're
Like,
paying attention.
but the thing that's crazy is like, you know, employers love us working from home because they're actually getting more
No
hours
overhead.
from us. You're, yeah,
Yeah.
no overhead. You're not taking any breaks and you're literally working morning, afternoon, and nighttime. At least that's kind of how I
Yes.
am
Now you
too. So
find
it's like,
yourself
really?
doing. Yeah.
Yeah, tall pumps. I definitely do not miss the office politics, you know. So much funny office politics, like she stole my lunchbox, you know, and these people are in their 60s, like fighting, coming up to you. She took my mac and cheese. Like, you know, that person didn't wash their hands coming out of the washroom. So then you have to put up like a washroom sign. I'm like, I
Nobody
feel
misses that.
like my 5-year-old nephew is more mature than the oh, I can't, I got to be careful what I say. Employers are googling me, but you get the point. It's I
Yes.
should write a book on that, you know. But tall pumps is funny. She said I think her mom always asked her why she's asking so many questions. I thought that was cute.
I saw that too. Yeah,
We
the
love
things that get you in trouble when you're a kid turn
we
out to
love
be
your
great
questions.
for adulthood.
Yeah, they're great. We love your questions, Tall Pump. I think you need
Yes.
to do a talk show and interview
Totally.
people yourself, you know, because
Totally.
you do ask very thought provoking questions. So, her question, she's been waiting patiently. At what age did they diagnose Simone? And were you fearful to have another child? Wow, that's definitely a deep question. For all you guys that don't know, you mentioned that your daughter has autism.
Yes.
So that's a pretty deep question. Yeah.
So I want to put a disclaimer out there. I've just learned something recently as a parent of a person with autism that now I like to say she has, what they call a comorbidity. It's not the best word for it, but an additional challenge to autism that I think affects her even more so or multiplies the effects of autism. And because I think, sometimes autism itself gets a bad rap. And, I don't want any parent to think that if your child is or to run away from a diagnosis of autism because people with autism can do awesome, absolutely awesome things and surprise you in so many ways, and they just think and learn differently and interact with the world differently. um but so I think what complicated her diagnosis is that she also it has an intellectual disability. So those together are why we have the challenges that we have. So I just like not to say one without the other because I don't the things that we talk about that Simone struggles with, we're very transparent about that. And I want people to know that, that's not just autism.
Hmm.
Okay. So having said that, um, she was diagnosed at 3. She wasn't even quite 3 yet.
Oh,
We had,
wow.
it was very obvious very early on in her childhood that she wasn't meeting certain milestones, that she wasn't growing and developing in the way that a typical child would. It was very obvious. So yes, we had a lot of struggles. She got excused, aka kicked out of a couple of daycare centers, and just it was tough there in the beginning. Um, and um, and then so it was were we fearful? Yes. I don't know what the percentages are, but yes, it's very common for families to have multiple children with autism. Very common. And so when we got pregnant the second time, and we neither one of our pregnancies were planned. So we didn't have the conversation beforehand, like, should we have another kid? Da, 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 da. We just found ourselves pregnant. And So yes, the whole time that I carried him, I prayed and prayed and had our family members praying and praying, for him to not have the same struggles as Simone or worse, or anything similar along those lines. In fact, the name that I chose for him, his first name, is the way, we had agreed that Clarence chose Simone's first name. I chose Nathan's first name. And so I was doing research. I wanted a name with meaning. But I also wanted a name that people can pronounce, and it wouldn't carry a certain, it wouldn't label him but only in good ways. And so the the name Nathan is what his name is, Nathan or Nathaniel. In Hebrew means gift from God.
Oh, I love
And
that. It's
so,
awesome.
so I prayed over him, he's our gift from God. He's our gift. He's going to be a gift to the world. What he's going to bring to the world and to our family is going to be, great things. And so, yeah, I guess that answers Topup's question.
Yeah, for sure. Did you ever wonder, like, I guess when it was happening or when you're kind of going through, kind of those rough patches of marriage, or like maybe struggling with depression, or because that's a lot to handle. I have a friend that has autistic. Actually, he's autistic, but he's got fetal alcohol syndrome. So her
Mm,
mission in life, like I've had her on my show. She's truly like unbelievably amazing. And I think has three kids, I believe. Yeah. And I don't know how she even manages, but because he's in his mind, he's like maybe a 5-year-old, but he's,
yes,
10 years old.
exactly.
So she has
That's the
even,
same with Simone.
yeah. So
Yeah,
the outside people think, well, he's fully functional, like,
right,
but in the inside, she's like, I always have to watch him because his brain is like a 4 or 5-year-old, right?
right,
So, and
right.
just seeing the courage and the fight that she has in her to, run a nonprofit and to make a difference is just, I kind of feel like, the hard trials that we go through in life get us to our purpose, and they get us there hopefully quicker. Um,
Yeah,
did you ever question like why, like kind of like why me, like,
of
when you're kind of going through
course,
that? Hmm.
of course. Can you figure out why
Hey, you're back, DJ C
yeah,
Sharp.
C sharp is back.
And you
I'm
know
back.
what? You know
What did I
what,
miss?
DJ C Sharp. You know what? Were you listening in the car or no?
Were you listening
He's
in the
getting
car?
ready. We
Oh,
just
he
we
he
just
said
want
he
you,
wasn't.
okay, we just
I'm not
want
in
you
the replay.
knowing you're gonna have to check the replay because we found out her secret stash, where the money is, where the money is.
Where the money resides? We found out where the money resides.
I know where it is. So you better check. So no one tell him like in the chat room, but you're gonna have to check every wall in your place tonight and the flooring. All right. So if it feels a little shifty, your flooring or like the walls, then you like it feels a little bit bumpy, or there's a picture or something, you're gonna have to take off the pictures and check. So
He's gonna let me have it. He's not gonna look. He's not gonna look
don't tell
because
him.
he's rolling in it, so he's not even worried about my little money.
Yeah, he's probably got a major stash somewhere
Right
too.
himself.
I don't. All
Thank
right.
Oh,
you.
So what did I miss? What do I need? What do I need to correct?
Oh, we went. No, no. Yeah. Well, we're not going to say. You're going to have to catch the
You
replay
have to
and
listen to the replay.
check your walls tonight. Now, if you guys if you guys want to leave some questions, if I missed any, just throw them back in the chat again. And I know someone mentioned, you could buy multiple copies again for $12.99. Very cheap for their book, you guys. Make sure you go and support them. Takes a lot to publish and write a book and and ship it out. So $12.99 is nothing. Each of us, there's like close to 30 people in this room. There's a lot more catching my show, my replays after. So if you guys get a chance, definitely check out their book. Here is the link to for it. And someone gave a great suggestion you guys could buy for multiple people. So for instance, if like someone really needs, encouragement, and I think we all do, if we're all real, whether you're single, in a relationship, whether it's complicated, whether you just don't care to be anything, that's fine too. Whatever your relationship status is, everyone can learn from someone that's kind of been there, and especially 25 years of marriage, not everyone gets to that or gets there. So I really admire that. And, if you feel like it could be a blessing for someone else, even if it's not for yourself, buy it for someone else that's struggling. There's plenty of people we know in quarantine that are really going through it, right? So, any friends that definitely buy multiple copies, bless them, and let's get them up to his vision of selling 10,000 copies,
10,000
which is going to be
copies.
more. It's going to be more. But
10,000 copies.
you guys should think about, have you guys thought about doing like relationship type of coaching on YouTube or Instagram, like doing some lives?
No.
You guys should do that if you can.
What we have thought about taking what we've done to some next levels in terms of having, we're planning one right now. We're planning a few right now. In person or virtual
book clubs.
Couples book clubs.
Mm-hmm.
So, starting with ours, of course, is, for the couples to read the books, and then we get together and we discuss, and we have exercises around the topics in the book.
Yeah, you guys should do like a paint night, date night, or something like that. Like a couples paint night, date night. You go out.
It would be cool.
And maybe discuss different topics, because relationships and love, it's always a hot topic. No matter where you go. Like look at Tony Baskin. Like he blew up overnight just by cheating on his girlfriend. Like, and then he ended up getting on the Oprah show, and I met him, and I was asking him a million questions. And I had like 2,000 women in line mad at me. They're like, shoot, child, get this woman out, But I was so serious because I'm sitting there and I'm like, are you kidding me? How is this guy a multimillionaire when I have this conversation with my girlfriends or my guy friends all the time? And it's not rocket science what he's talking about. It's kind of like Steve Harvey. What is it? Think Like a Man, or whatever that book is. Like, it's just people are so interested in like relationships, and those topics are so popular that I think you guys will be, I know you guys will be very successful at it. Even streaming, maybe try streaming to YouTube, and like I started on streaming now to YouTube and Facebook. So even doing that on your StreamYards,
It's a good idea. We have our publicist, Chanel B. She'll make sure that we get taken care of. She's our PR person, so she'll take care of it. She'll make sure we get good to go.
A PR and promotions
empire. Empire is what we call
it. She is. She's like a Twitch celebrity. Like if I turn on the news here in Canada, I'm going to see her on the news. Like I see everywhere I turn and flip the channel, I see DJ Chanel B on.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Exactly. We're trying to get a little piece of that.
Yeah. Oh man, but she's good at definitely media and social media and building that up, which is really awesome. So
Tiff, if you want Tiffany, Miss Tiff Staff, you want fries? I know where you can get some good fries.
Oh man, that's so true. So if there's any questions, other questions that you guys have, I'm trying to scroll up and see if you guys have any more, if I missed any. So if you see my eyeball shifting like that, it's usually because I'm looking at the chat in another computer. So definitely let me know. Yeah, if you guys have any questions for them, now is your time. They're pretty open, So do you also feel like, because 25 years of marriage when you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, like, do you feel like it really changes, like the person, that you're with, it really changes or not really?
Changes
It changes.
it changes a
It
lot.
changes sometimes from the morning to the night.
Oh man.
Yeah, it changes a lot.
It changes a lot.
I can say this: the first 10 years were way harder than the last 15.
Oh yeah,
The
Really?
first 10
Yeah.
were way harder than the last
for
15.
sure.
So, hopefully you find a good place, but eventually you get to a good rhythm and you know each other pretty
Mhm.
well and you kind of figure out how you're going to move together and you start going down that path and you get there's some percentage of autopilot, but you rolling, and if somebody gets off the track a little bit or you're unhappy with the pace going, you know how to tell the person these things and have those conversations. And so the last 15 have been much faster and much easier than the first 10.
Yeah,
Do
the
you think
first
it's
10 were
like,
tough.
oh, really? Wow.
If
Like, do
you
you
if
think,
you if you can make it, I don't know how these marriages get to 25 years and then they divorce. I think it's
Mhm.
because somebody's holding on to something that they haven't spoken up about the entire time. Like,
Really?
it's because you change, yes, but you should be keeping each other, everybody should be mindful of the changes. Nobody
Mhm.
should be changing so much and just leaving the other person behind or leaving the other person out of what's happening and how you're feeling and what your new goals are or whatever. Just like Arthur Javanda was saying about setting goals as a couple, you're also going to be setting goals for yourself as an individual. And if you're doing that goal setting and planning and thinking without your spouse, then yeah, that's going to lead to it looking like one day you just upped and changed and they
Mhm.
had no clue and no idea.
Someone once told me that, like, marriage, like, if you think that when you get married, like, it's going to just be fine. As soon as you go to the chapel, have a nice wedding, which I've DJ'd a lot of weddings. I've seen people fight spending $150,000 on very elaborate weddings, and they're literally fighting. I don't even know if
Yeah.
they're still together. I remember having one wedding that was really bad DJing. We actually had to look for the groom outside because he drank too much and he ended up hitting the bride's mom, and he walked out. And this is like 100,000 plus, wedding, like ice sculptures, everything. So I do remember the bride asking me after I was packing up my cords. I'm like, this is a disaster wedding. But I do remember the bride asking if we could look for the groom, and I'm just like, how are these people going to make it? So I guess I go into that little story because, people have told me that have been married. They're like, don't get it twisted. Like, honey Flo, don't think that as soon as you get married, that's going to solve those problems. They said, in fact, marriage actually magnifies your own selfishness. So
Yeah.
it's not the other person. Like, anytime I ask, why did you break up? Even being single, asking people online, hey, why did you break up? What happened in your last relationship? And it's just like, oh, she did this, she did that, she did. But you never ever hear, even as singles, I'm guilty of it too. You never hear the finger pointed back at you. Like, what could I have done to change? What could
Hmm.
it's never, the blame is never like pointed back.
Right.
It's
They
always
were
pointed at the other
all
person.
wrong and you were all
Exactly.
right. Yeah. No.
So I thought that was a powerful statement that marriage actually magnifies your own selfishness. Do you guys agree or disagree with that?
Totally agree.
Yeah. I mean,
Hmm.
the way Clarence says it is, it magnifies whatever gets on your nerves about the other person. But then, yeah, to look at it the other way, you know, here you are trying to make your life work with someone else's life. I was in the hairdresser one time we were talking about just couples and relationships and things. And, I didn't even tell them, my age or that I had been married as long as I had. And some of the things that they were saying were just so unrealistic about marriage. I mean, just, for instance, you know, one girl was saying if he's not putting it down on me from night one, then that's my cue that the sex will never be good and I need to run. And I'm like,
I heard
okay,
that a lot. Heard that a lot.
that is a way to think about it, because if I guess if you want certain things and you see that they don't come with those certain things from day one, then yeah. But your body is going to change as a woman throughout, because what I said was there are things that you can teach him and there are things that you can, if I gotta teach him, then he ain't the one, da 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 da. But there, your body is going to change, and so you're going to have to show him how to please you later in life.
You better plug your ears, Mama. You better plug your ears, Mama. We got Yoyobaybay's mom, listening. Actually, we got 3 moms and their entire family listening. So I'm just warning you in advance. You better plug your ears right now.
They know us.
Let me tell you.
Tell
I'm just
them,
joking.
I have to leave the room sometime when they get together.
Really? Even the moms? But I thought your mom was the most strict.
My goodness. Are we really going to talk about this in front of me?
But I thought your mom was the most strict out of everyone.
Well, okay.
Now
so
it's changed.
Here you go. Great story. Story time. Story time.
I love story time.
Story time. LB, if you out there, you can verify that this story happened.
This is one mom, guys. This is one mom. This is Djcsharp's mom in the building. Yeah.
All right. So
okay,
this is actually
Miss Durham. Yeah, that's Djcsharp's
this
mom.
is actually.
But this is about LDB 57.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if she's still in here, but
so when we lived in North Carolina, we would come home and visit everybody. We had no kids, so we would stay at everybody's house. We stop at my mom's house, then we would go to my dad's house. Oh no, we stop at my mom's house, then we go to Yolanda's mom's house, and then we would stop at my dad's house on the way home. And it's just how the weekend rolled around. They had, when we stayed at Yolanda's mom's house, we had a room in the basement with just a mattress on the floor, and that's where we would sleep.
Yeah.
And her sisters were much younger, so they would be so happy to see her, and they would be, down there hanging with us, talking, happy to see us. And Yolanda's mother would, after a while, she would say, "Okay, guys, it's time for y'all to go upstairs." And I said, "Why are you running them off? They want to sit here and talk to Yolanda and do whatever." She said, "Well, I figured y'all wanted to do it."
I said, so funny. Whose mom was that? Your mom?
My mom.
I said, "Why would you figure that?" She said, "I like to do it." I was like,
wow, that was your mom.
Are we really having this conversation?
Okay, we're putting Yoyobaybay's mom on blast, guys. Where's her picture? I want to see her picture. This is the other mom that said it. IDB 57.
She's never going to come on the stream now.
So how does
how
does a mom go being super strict on you? And now she's saying that. What's going on here?
Now we're married. What does the Bible say? The marriage bed is undefiled.
Wow.
She was married. We were married. It's all
like,
on the same playing field now.
Get these kids out of here. Let's get these kids on out of here and let these people do what they do. I said,
how many kids did your mom have? How many siblings do you have? You got to watch out for this little one over here, I think. How many brothers and sisters do you have?
I just have three sisters.
You have 3. Yeah. 3 that you know about. It's like the money in the wall. The money in the wall. How do you know? You don't know. I think your mom's smooth. I think she's I need to hang out with her. I think
she is right there. So because it was legal now.
She was legal now. She's a ball of fun. Hilarious. She is a ball of fun.
Yeah, she sounds pretty funny. That is hilarious. So you guys must have been surprised, like hearing that from her.
I'm always surprised. She surprised me for a while, and then she ain't surprised me no more. I got to the point where I said, "Okay, you know, here is a marital thing that you have to learn,
Mhm.
which is how to interact with the in-laws.
Hmm.
That's a very important aspect. How and what we both had to learn was we have to develop individual relationships with our in-laws. Meaning my relationship can't funnel through Yolanda. I got to be
Mhm.
able to talk to my in-laws, and we got to have however we're going to communicate. And the same has to happen with her and my parents. So after a while, I figured out, you know, you want to be so respectful of your wife's parents. You want to be super respectful of them. But I figured out pretty quickly that they wanted me to be a peer. That Yolanda's mother wanted to talk to me like a peer. So
Hmm.
I talked to her. So once I figured that out, I said, if she's going to say these things to me, then I gotta be. Then I'm going to say what I need to say to her. Doesn't mean I was disrespectful. You still say it with respect. You still say it with some level of reverence for who she is, because she's still an elder. She's still my elder. But if this is the subject matter that we're going to talk about, then we'll just talk about it. And so me and LB have never had a problem ever since.
But do you think it's good to, like, say if you have an argument, because I feel like families have so many opinions and friends, and this is what I'm kind of wondering about for my next relationship. Like, is it better to just keep it private? Because, the more you talk to family and friends, everyone has an opinion or a
So
judgment,
you gotta
You got
of
to narrow.
maybe it could
You do
create
have
problems in your relationship.
to narrow down to the one or two. I hesitate to even go higher than two people that you're going to share the real nitty gritty with. Um, After they've shown you that they know how to respect the boundaries of your relationship. Just because I'm mad at C# at this point doesn't mean the next time you see him, you're giving him the side eye and you're hinting at what we may have disagreed about or argued about or whatever. So yeah, you do it, especially our moms, we're very
so
careful
my
about what
I told you
we
my mom lives here.
share.
So she lives in the basement, and I
You
have
don't know what she's doing in the basement. You better get a webcam on your mom
no, I'm not
too.
getting no no no
We
You
no.
already
guys
have
are,
a
they're
shared we have a
characters.
shared Alexa.
I have no desire
We
to
have
have a
a shared
webcam
Alexa,
on
and
what
that's
she's doing in
enough.
the basement.
Oh man, that's so funny. I
She
Nope.
has
think
her own entrance and exit. She can come
She
and go
come and
as
go
she
as she
please.
please. She
She can
grown.
let whoever in and out as she pleases.
So
really.
we're
Oh.
not doing that. But but I will say that she is a confidant for both of us.
Hmm.
Meaning Yolanda will get upset. She'll go down there and she'll talk to her. I'll get upset. I'll go down there and talk to her. And she'll talk to you as if she's never talked to the other
Right.
person at
You'll
all.
never even know that she's talked to the other person about the exact same thing.
So, and she does a very good job at that. So I commend her on her ability to balance that, because the real goal is you have to know which people are really in it to see the relationship preserved.
Hmm.
Some people are in it for you, some people are in it for him, and some people are in it because they want to see your relationship preserved.
Hmm.
Classy T and Something to Say are friends we've known since before we ever dated. We've known them over 30 years. And if she fussing about me, to them, they'll listen, but they're never going to tell her, girl, you need to leave him.
Right. They're going to give me sound advice. They're not going to be just on my side cuz you're my girl and you should be on my side. If they
Yeah.
see me, if I'm telling it to them honestly and they're hearing, what role I'm playing in the troubles, they're going to point it out to me and hold
Hmm.
me accountable to it.
And a couple of reasons that that's true is because they've known me a long time, so they know what kind of person I am. So it's easier for them to make the judgment that he not all bad,
Hmm.
that everything that he might not have done this, but there's enough other things that I've seen and that I've heard and that I've witnessed that he's not all bad. So, this can work if you guys will just work it. And the same thing goes for some of my friends that know her. When I call to fuss about her, they be like, she's not that bad.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I was reading Pump's comment. She says, when changes happen in both sexes, it can open the door to infidelity if not addressed.
Oh yeah, because
What was the
yeah,
question?
she's so it that was
It's
based
more of
off
a comment.
a previous statement she made.
Same
The
thing.
question she had about physical and mental changes that you go through. Um and I've been just paying attention to all pumps in
Yeah.
the chat.
And I
But
just want to
yeah.
give a shout out to different people coming in the room. Lisa the X, great to see you
Yeah,
as well. I hope your
Lisa.
shows are going, good too. Thanks for joining us, and everyone else that's come in the room. For all you guys that don't know, we have like the family, the moms in the room too. IDB, that's why I find it hilarious. IDB is, Yoyobaybay's mom as well in the room, and she said, which made me laugh, everyone has an opinion, like everyone has a butt. Oh man, I want to hang out. I want to hang out with the moms. Like I always like, I want to interview you guys next. And Miss Jerham is, she says, I mind my own business. That's Djcsharp's mom. But do they really mind their own business? Is that really the truth? They may have a webcam on you guys. Who knows? You don't know. They might have a voice recording. So I know Tall Pumps had a lot of great questions here. I'm going to go back to that comment because I thought that was really good.
Yeah, just about you know referring back to when I said, a woman's body changes, a man's body changes, a man's, everybody's libido is going through changes. Everybody is under stress. One or the other is under stress, or handle stress, or processes stress through their bodies differently, and differently for themselves at different times.
Sure.
And you got to keep in touch with that. Like it's got to be a judgment free zone. First of all, you know uh, a person's ego, I was going to say a man's ego, but a person's ego is very fragile. And if you're just ready to um drag them or trash them for their physical performance or physical desires or issues, because the issues are plethora. Especially ladies, I don't know who's near 50 and over 50 in here, but our bodies go through just the list is endless. And C Sharp knows every, we stay in tune. Sometimes he can tell me things about myself that I don't know yet.
I told
From
her
a
she was
physical
pregnant.
standpoint. Yeah,
I
he
told her
knew
she
I
was
was
pregnant.
pregnant. And I was in denial as well, but he knew.
Oh.
I
He knew
told her
both
she was
times.
pregnant
He
both
knew
times.
both times.
Oh, thank God you
And
didn't tell her she was pregnant when she wasn't pregnant. Like,
It was no doubt. Well, the first time I wasn't sure she was pregnant. I knew something was wrong. I knew something was different. I said something's different. And then the second time, it was the same thing. I said, "Oh yeah, so you
so
pregnant?"
now he knew
I knew what that meant. You're
knew what it
pregnant.
meant. So he's very in tune and very perceptive. And if your man isn't, then you just going to have to be telling him.
Right. And
And vice versa. We have talks.
I'll say this. She said those things, but on the opposite side of that, there are things that you need. And if that person is not able to give them, then you got to talk to them and figure out a way that you can get it from him. And I'm not talking. You just got to talk to the people and say, "Baby, this is what I need." And sometimes we are afraid to tell our spouses or the people we're dating what you really need, fear of judgment, like Yolanda said, or for fear that they may look at you different, or for fear that they may even leave. But you gotta put that thing on the table and then live with the consequences.
Yeah, because it's not gonna go away.
It's not gonna, and it may
It's
not go your way
because you ignore it. Oh, right, and the discussion may not go your way in the end.
But you gotta be willing to put it on the table. And sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Sometimes you
That's
both win.
true. Yeah,
Sometimes you both lose.
that's so true. Actually, Tall Pumps has another great question. Man, I should just bring you on my show, Tall Pumps. You're like, Barbara Walters. Forget about them calling me the Barbara Walters on Twitch. I think you could
Did she
handle
say?
it on your own with these
Uh,
questions, which is great. But I've actually been curious about this question too. So I'm glad you said it, and I'm gonna say asking for a friend myself too, because I kind of wonder how that works. Because a woman, obviously in her 40s, or it's different, and then a guy's prime is like when he's like what, 14, 15 years old. So she says, women's libidos, or did I say that right? Stirs is going to be bugging me, seem to go way up
Up.
as they get older, and men go down. Like, no pun
I
intended.
think she
How
meant
does it
pun.
work?
No pun
Asking
intended.
for a friend. Oh, pun intended.
Asking
Yeah,
for a friend.
asking for a friend. And I kind of always, asking for a friend too. I've always kind of wondered like that as well. I'm like, how does that work? Like, really, what did the man upstairs, what was he thinking when he created us? That's one question I'm gonna have for him, because it's like we're not. I don't know if we're at the same stages as like men and women.
Right.
So how does that even work? Like, what,
So
a
I
woman
could.
in her 40s, are they supposed to date like someone that's 15 or 20 years old? Like, how is this going to
I
work?
mean, you could. We got cougars and
I'm joking. I'm
panthers
totally
and
joking, you guys. No.
all the cats for
I'll,
that reason.
yes, yes, we do. All the cats. We talked about
Oh
all the
yeah,
cats one
DJ
time.
Ireal says
Jaguars.
God is the biggest comedian, but
Jaguars.
that's not fair. That's not fair for a woman.
It's
And
not
I don't
fair.
know. Like, I feel like men. Okay, I'm going to totally generalize. I'm sorry, but it's like all my guy friends like were the biggest players when they were young. I'm talking like tons of women. Did their thing when they're much younger, and then as they got older, they settled down. They're like, I want to find a good wifey, this virtuous woman somewhere. And they ended up, marrying all these really great women. I'm just like, how is that fair? I don't know. So
Not at
maybe he
all.
is a comedian. I don't
Yeah.
get it. So,
Yeah.
So I'll give you my answer. I'll give you
mhm.
my perspective. And my perspective is, of course,
But there is the blue pill.
there's
So
generalizations.
there's that.
Because this is not true for everybody, Tall Pumps. But I do understand the gist of your question, and the, I'll give you two. I'll give you two things that I'm aware of. The first is I've known people who have gotten old enough to
All
where
fun.
sex has become so unimportant to their relationship
Mhm.
that so many other things are important. And I know you say, I hope I never get there, but some people actually get to that point.
Yeah, I know a lot
And
of relationships.
and it is what it is. So, but in this sliding scale of men losing and women gaining, if that it, I say this all the time, and and I've said this to Yolanda, and I've said it on streams before. There's a store full of teammates that you can get to help you out.
Yep.
Because if your goal is absolutely the same, and my goal is to make her happy and to make her satisfied, and that means sometimes you might have to put your ego, and I think she said that before, you got to put your ego aside
Yep.
Mhm.
and deal with the matter at hand, and not be embarrassed or not be self-conscious that what you're doing is somehow driving her away. It's actually
It's
probably doing the
actually
opposite,
doing the opposite.
because she
Yes.
sees that you are not in this for
Just for
yourself.
you.
You in this for
Mhm.
her. So that is the position that I would tell anybody to take.
Get
It
toys
get,
to simplify, because he's trying to dress it up and euphemize
sure. Yes, I
Mhm.
euphemize.
toys. And if you must, I mean, I can't recommend because I'm not a doctor and I don't know anything about it. But apparently the Viagra works and Cialis works, at least for a little while.
Oh my gosh, it's like Hugh Hefner. It's like, I don't know. I feel sorry for my future man. I'll be like, you got to do 100 push-ups daily. You got to be drinking those spinach shakes daily. Like, you can't be eating any fast food. You need your sleep. You need to sleep 10 hours a day, you know? So
That
I'm
that's
like,
the thing. That's one of our ongoing jokes too, is because something to say, Classy T and I, we set workout goals for ourselves. We ever since the pandemic started, weekly what we have to do, working on our bodies and on our health, and our husbands have not set similar goals.
Not at all. Not
mhm.
at all.
So we talk about how we're going to be cruising with them, and they'll be sitting on the bench, and we will be, traipsing all over town doing what we like to do, and just leave
Mhm.
them behind.
I told them they planning to outlive us, and it's just
I
where
think
we're
that is
going.
a fact. They do say women outlive men, I think, as a fact.
And they
Yeah, it's
Yes.
and they working hard at it. All three
oh
of them.
shoot. It's definitely important. Like, because they also say that sex and finance are the two biggest things that break up marriages. So I also know couples that are much older. They've been together 20, 30 years, and they're just not together physically anymore. But I still
Right.
think
Yeah.
it's really important because they do say, what is it? I think it was, I don't know if finance was number one or two. Someone could correct me in the chat room. I think it was finance number one and sex is number two for breakup in marriages. So, would you guys say that those are pretty equally important, like to get
I,
on the same page with?
I would say they're so important that we have a whole chapter in our book dedicated to it.
Oh, you
That's
have,
how
okay.
important. That's how important we
Yes.
think they are. It's a whole
Yes.
Yeah,
chapter in our book dedicated to just that.
it
Yes.
is important. And I don't know why people are so demanding too, because you have your whole years of marriage to communicate with one another, what you like, what you don't like. Like you have, people are saying, forget it. Like if he doesn't know what he's doing or she doesn't know, but yet you really have your whole lifetime to kind of figure out and communicate with each other.
Yes. Yes.
So,
And try everything at least be open to trying things, and, just, I don't know, this kind of everybody should come in just already knowing how to put it down on you is, yeah, that's unrealistic. And that they're going to just put it down on you from the beginning of the relationship all the way through to the end. It's, it's a
it's not
two-way street
realistic.
for one. And,
Yeah.
your bodies are changing. Your physical and chemical makeup is changing. You start taking medicines, as my mom just pointed out, that high
Yeah.
blood pressure can do a
Just don't do any of that in
don't
the
help.
basement because, the mom right here is downstairs. No, it's the other mom, right? That's
Right.
downstairs in your
Miss
basement.
Durham is the
That's
one
hands off.
downstairs.
Oh, I want to see your mom. I know. Is she around here? I think I could hear her in the background. I think it would be so dope. Okay, how many of you guys, is she close to you guys? She's close to you guys, isn't she?
She gotta be willing to walk up them steps, and she
Yeah,
probably is not.
she's not. She's
Aw.
downstairs right now.
How many of you guys want to see the moms, like, or the mom that's right now? How many of you guys want to see her? Put some ones in the chat.
Put some
I'm
ones
very
in the chat. That
curious.
might
Put some
convince her to
ones in the
walk up them
chat.
steps, but she usually makes one trip,
And she's
Aw.
already
and she's
been
already
out.
been
She's
up
been
here
to
once.
Costco today.
She
She
done.
had
She
a
might be
full
done.
day.
Yep. So tall pumps, put a one in the chat. She want to see mama as well. Now that's your mom, DJ Sharp, right?
It is.
Yes.
Okay.
It is.
Yes.
How many of you guys want to see the mama in the chat? I want to see. I
Is
want to
she
see you
still
guys
in the
throw up some
chat?
ones. I don't want to see her in the chat. I actually want to see her on camera just to
No, I
say
mean,
hi.
I'm wondering if she's still here to see those
I don't know if
ones.
she
Like
coming.
Classy T put a one. Miss Tipstar put a one. Hey Disco Darren, I see you.
Miss
Uh,
Durham, let me text her
your
just in
other
case she's
mom,
not in the
your
chat.
other mom put a one. She's so crafty. Put a
That's
one.
her friend.
Come on, you guys, put up some ones. We want to see Mama. I'm so curious about her, because I know she's going to tell the truth, even if she comes in and just waves at us. I would love to see her. It's one thing I love
Uh-oh, wait a
Uh-oh.
doing.
minute.
Wait,
I just
I
heard a
think we
door
heard a
open,
door. We heard a
Yeah.
door open.
and she came. Oh, there she is, right there.
Oh, tall pumps put a one. Chris Crandon, good to see you. Put a one.
Yeah.
Have y'all busted mom? Of course. Aw, hi. Oh, it's so good to see you. I'm gonna magnify. Let's see. I can't really see. I can only see the hand. There we go. Hi. Good to see you. That's awesome. Oh, I'd love to sit down with you guys and talk. That's so awesome. I love it. Thank you for coming. And she's on Twitch, guys. So everyone that's on Facebook, you know, and she came all the way downstairs. So make sure you guys say something
She
nice
did.
to her.
She did.
She said
came.
we
So
won't see her for a
awesome.
couple of days now.
Now we might not see
Aw.
her
We might
until
not see
Friday.
her till Friday now.
That's so nice. I love it. I love seeing families. Classy T is clapping for mom. Miss KB says, hi, mom. Tall Pump says, aw, you got to see her whole face. That's so cool. Miss Tiff Star is clapping. Hey, maybe she might give me advice. I need to roll with your mom. Like maybe,
Oh,
like my mom doesn't even know how to text. She knows nothing about the internet. So I think it's so amazing that your mom is actually texting like in the chat room on Twitch. That is
oh
crazy to
yeah.
me. You know, I'm going to
Oh
send
yeah.
this to my mom and say, look, Mama Sharp, if she can do it, surely you can do it, you know?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
but I may need to roll with the moms. I think they might have some good advice for DJ Honeyflow. So I'm going to have to roll with you guys. So it is
You
now.
really do.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on. I really appreciated it. It's so awesome seeing you. And I always love seeing the face with the user ID. So thanks for
Yeah.
coming on. We
Yeah.
appreciate you. Yeah. You raised a good both the parents, all the parents in the room, you really raised you know, I can't say kids because that just seems a little weird for me to say, but you guys have raised, you know,
We'll
some
always
really
be
good,
their kids.
yeah, you guys really have raised some really great kids with, you
Good
know,
job, mom and dads.
yeah, great job to
Moms
you
and
guys,
dads.
you know, because
Great job.
eventually it says, as much as your kids, you know, could have been crazy or rowdy back in the day or whatever, or walked a different direction, they always say what you instill in your kids, you always go back to, you know, the things I hated about my mom, it's like I'm turning into now, you know,
Yep.
but you really do if you kind of instill some of those values, you know, you do go back to
Yep.
I think what you believe or what your parents
You
instilled in you.
you turn into them in more than just that. I told Yolanda the other day, I looked down at my legs and said, those are my father's legs
His actual
that
legs.
I am looking at right now.
Legs.
Yolanda walks by a mirror and looks in it and says, that is my mother's face.
I hear my voice on recordings and I'm like, oh my God, down to the laugh. We have the same laugh.
Aw.
Everything.
Your mom, Djcsharp, this is the mom that's single, right? And then you said you have a
Yes, the
stepmom
mom who is here with us.
that
Yes,
came
Yes.
in, the one
yes,
that came in, that's
Yes.
Miss Graham, the mom right
Yes.
here, right? Okay, you
Yes.
better watch out. You know, she's easy on the eyes, Djcsharp. You better watch out. Like, if she's going to Costco alone, I would be careful. Like, how many trips is she doing, your mom, to Costco by herself?
I don't even
Like,
ask. I don't even
she could
ask
be
no more.
meeting someone. She could be going on a date at the
it's-
burger
We
and
don't
french
have
fry
any
It's
problem with that.
section.
It's
We
none of
want
my
her.
business.
We want her to do her thing.
Yes, indeedy. I told her she's earned it. Whatever she
Aw.
wanted to do, she has earned it.
But she
Do
gonna
you-
put these guys through the ringer. She ain't
will put
going.
them through the
She ain't
ringer.
gonna get taken advantage of. For
That's why I
sure.
gotta hang out with your parents. They seem like a riot. Like they seem like, you know,
It, this is
they
true.
would do something. Yeah, for sure.
The
They
stories,
have,
the
we
stories I
have
can tell.
we have a great time with all of them. Yes, we're so
Yeah.
blessed. We have no mother-in-law stories, you know, horror stories to tell on any account. You know, we have a great time with our parents.
Tall
Yeah.
Pumps, to answer your question, I have no problem with her dating. I just keep me informed.
He just wants to. She has to check in with him.
Just check.
Tall
Let
Pumps.
just, you know, if you're gonna be out, if you're gonna be
I'm
out
at
all
the
right,
place. I'm
yeah.
coming back
If you're
from
gonna
the
be
place.
out all night,
Yes.
just let me know you're gonna be out all night.
But what
Don't
happens
let
if
me
she
have
decides?
expectations.
What happens if she decides to date someone your age or younger?
Oh my God.
I mean, I would laugh.
Like my mom dated someone like
I would
my
laugh.
grandpa's
I
age.
mean,
I didn't like it. Like my mom dated someone my grandpa's age. I like freaked out. I was like, he's old enough to be your father. Like my grandpa's like 102. I'm like, what were you thinking? I was
it
just like,
Yeah.
my mom
it would have.
literally
Yeah,
dated
I
someone
mean,
like older, and I could
Date is not
Wouldn't
that
get
big
it.
of a deal. Marry is something that we would probably have to talk about.
Yeah. I mean, she doesn't mind our business. So it would be, kind of hypocritical then if we turn around and try to tell her what to do. But yeah, honestly, the marriage, we got to we got to do all the background checks at all the levels. We got friends in places that can check all the levels of your background.
Yes, we do. Yes, we
So
do.
we would definitely be exercising all of that.
So you're okay if your
Yeah.
mom brings someone home. That's what Tall Pumps is definitely stirring the pot here.
I mean,
Like
home
you'd be
for
okay with that. You should
it-
try it as a joke, Miss Jerem. I think that would be
this.
hilarious. Like you should just like meet the mailman or convince the UPS driver or Amazon driver to come in. Like you'll give him
This is
some cookies
all
and milk,
Oh,
hilarious.
this is
and
so
This is
then
hilarious
see your
because I
son's
know.
everything we know
reaction.
about her.
Yeah, I know her, so this is hilarious. So
She says no cougering from me. Wow.
Yeah,
it would be
she
so out
has
of
such
character.
she has such good judgment in terms of bordering on Heismaning everybody. She's keeping everybody at arm's length. So if she lets somebody in, we know they've already passed a whole bunch of tests.
Yeah.
Aw.
Or we need to go take her and get her evaluated because then she's changing.
Something's gone
happening.
wrong. Something has
Something's
gone
missing.
terribly wrong.
Yes.
Yeah, author Javonda says them young Thundercats wouldn't be ready. But you know what?
She just hasn't met the right one yet.
Author Javonda gets like men coming up to her in aisle 2 and like paying randomly for her groceries when she says she's married with a family of 5. I'm like, I could barely get someone
Sis.
paying for a McDonald's coffee. How in the world
Sis, not
she
the
get
groceries.
groceries?
Yes.
I need to move where
Yes.
you.
I'm gonna
I
have to
need to
call
move where you
Insight
guys are at.
63 and see how he feels about this. I'm gonna
He
have
I'm
to
probably
moving.
like, oh, I appreciate the free groceries.
No, she said her husband was mad at her because he never took
Oh,
the
because she
offer.
accepted it.
No, he
Oh,
wanted
she
the
wanted.
stranger to pay for their groceries. He's like, "Why didn't you do that?" That's hilarious to me. I need to move where you guys are, like for real, for real. Like it's not working in
Don't
Canada. I'm gonna move where
don't
you
come
guys.
to where we are. That's not happening. I get hit on,
PC.
but never to pay for my groceries.
Oh yeah. Oh, how do you feel about that as well? Like if you see her getting hit on like out, are you fine with that? Some guys like it,
Am I
or
there or am I not there?
yeah, you're there. Like, are you fine with it? Some
So
guys are
I
fine with
mean,
it
it depends on the level of hit on.
because
I've
they're
been
like, yeah, she still
we've
got
been
it.
at
I
a
still got it.
we've been at a nightclub one time when I knew a guy was hitting on her. I could see from where I was that he was hitting on her, and I knew the guy. And so she saw me and I got her attention, and I said,
Yeah,
"Come on,
because I was just dancing with
come
him.
on over away from
Just
that guy.
like
You don't
dancing with
want
him.
nothing to do with that
And
guy."
for it's very rare.
Mhm.
Clarence, he knows I like to dance. So
Mhm.
typically he, it's fine with me dancing with other people because I will dance from the time I enter to the time I leave. And he's more like, oh, let me chill, let me go get a drink or whatever. So if I'm dancing with somebody else, he's fine. So when he actually called me over away from this guy, I was shocked. And at first, I just thought, oh, he has something to tell me or he wants to introduce me to somebody. No, he just wanted to get me away from him.
Oh
So
wow,
that was funny.
But
wow.
I don't deal in jealousy like that.
Mhm.
Trust.
I've told her from when we were dating, all those things, that 30 feet or 30,000 miles, I can't stop you from doing what you want to do. So
Hmm.
I'm not even going to burn the cycles. If you're going to do it, you're going to do it.
Right.
Don't tell me.
Right.
Mhm.
If
Do you
I
think
get
it would be
Lying, keep
very
on
easy?
lying.
Do you also think it would be very easy to cheat? Like I always said to my friends, like never, ever, ever would that ever happen. And oh, actually, can you guys hear me here? Oh, I think my camera stopped working. Can you guys see it? I gotta fix
No,
your
it.
camera's not on
your
anymore.
camera's off
Oh,
right
I
now.
wonder what I did. I think I bumped something. Okay, let me see if I could get this. You guys could hear me still, though, right?
Yes, we
Yeah,
can
we hear
still
you
hear
just
you.
fine.
Okay. I always say never ever would that ever happen, but then, my friends always say never because you never know,
Yep.
Yeah,
what can happen. So do you think
right.
it could be very easily like you kind of let your guard down, maybe you're having problems at home, you're talking to a coworker, you're connecting with him, like you're sharing about your problems, like it could happen very like do you think it could happen to like really anyone and everyone? Like no matter
So
how strong you think you are in a
Right.
relationship or as a person, do you think that it could kind of creep in subtly? Like anything can
so
happen?
so I yes. The short
Hmm.
answer, in my opinion, is yes. Anything is possible. But by the time you get to the point of infidelity, so many other things have happened that you
Hmm.
did not deal with, that it that is on our stream. I think a couple Sundays ago, I said it's not the infidelity that's my issue. It is the dishonesty and the loss of trust,
Hmm.
because all the other things that you had to do to make this thing happen, you just don't walk out the door one day and land on top of some man. They were
Right. It's
oh,
not.
Hmm.
It's not the
it's not a
accident.
singular act. It's not an
Yeah.
accident. There's a lot of things that you allowed to go farther, and it got out of hand. And that happens.
Hmm.
People let it get out of hand, but you let it get out of hand. It didn't just get out of hand on its own. So
Hmm.
maybe that's why my mother-in-law didn't want me in the bedroom watching that TV.
Like because
So
you also
she
She didn't
it
want
was
things to
step
get out of
one to
hand.
getting
It was
out of
step
hand.
one. Yes.
Mhm.
Step one.
Oh, she's coming around the corner. I hear she's coming around the corner. Grab the mic. Grab the mic. What are you gonna say? Yeah. No, yeah, she says exactly. But I also noticed that I see a lot of affairs, like even like say within the church walls. Like I've seen so many scandals. Like it's just I'll be honest, it's a little disheartening. Like when you say if you trust someone, like you trust a leader or you trust someone teaching, and then you see this crazy breakout. Like I've seen
Yep.
some crazy breakout scandals happen and it's like I knew
Yep.
their family. They're like the Obama picture perfect family. Like, I'd be looking at their picture thinking, "Man, it's like I wish I had that. I wish I had what they had because they're so perfect, like perfect jobs, money coming in, beautiful, like I won't say trophy wife, but like beautiful, like wife, like the best man in that series, and you look
It's
at
only what
everything.
they let you see. It's
Com-
only what
Hmm.
they let you see.
Comparison is the what?
The
Yeah,
thief
the
of all
worst.
joy.
It's the
Yeah,
thief of all
very true.
joy.
Yeah, like you really
So
don't know, like
You don't know.
so that's why it's
You
very
don't
surpri
know.
I guess it's a little surprising to me because I take take people's words for it and probably a little bit more trusting than I should be, but, like, it it just it's shocking, and then all of a sudden you see something crazy, you're like, "How did this even happen? And how are
Right.
you even preaching to me about
Right.
where I should be when you were doing something else back there?"
Right.
yeah,
Right.
and
Yeah.
that's why we don't try to position ourselves as any
Mhm.
type of experts or any
Marriage
type of
experts, so we have
people
the
telling you
answer.
how you should
Yeah.
do it.
We don't
We don't
have
want
we
to
Mhm.
don't
position ourselves that way at
no.
all, because it we
Cause
don't want you can take what you need to take from our relationship to make your relationship what you would like it to be, but at the same time, don't think that it's perfect over here.
right. And
Mhm.
don't think that it's not stuff that we can learn from you as well.
Mhm.
You know, it's and that's how I look at, having been a preacher's kid, I've been close enough, maybe not in the room, but in the room next to the room to know that these people are just, I'm Monique,
Aw.
are just, you see a hand coming in,
I
that's
just see a
Simone.
hand. Oh, it's Simone. Oh, hi.
Are you gonna put your back to the camera? What you gonna do? You gonna come over here with us? You gonna throw this in the trash for me? No? Okay.
Hi,
Bye
Come
bye.
say
Simone.
it.
That's okay. Yeah. Aw.
But yeah, they're just people, and you could have a gift of speaking, or you can have a gift of making people feel better and helping people improve their lives and that kind of thing. But it doesn't mean that you don't have your own issues. 9 times out of 10, they always have their own issue that you just don't know about
Yeah,
until
that's
you
so
know.
true. Yeah,
Until you know,
yeah.
it's
That's why I
what
think it's
goes on behind closed doors.
exactly. That's why I think it's so critical to just be like as honest as you can be, because eventually the truth does
Gonna
come
come
out.
to light.
Yeah, and it usually stems from whatever's going on in your heart. Like that will be magnified. That will come out outwardly, whatever's going in. That's why I think as humans we got to check ourselves, like,
Totally.
if not daily,
Good
man, I
job.
feel like I'm checking myself hourly.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
that's what I
Checking
said.
in with yourself.
Yeah,
So,
it's
so,
true.
so true.
Miss KB says, please give her a big hug for me.
Yes,
To
Miss
Simone.
KB said, "Hey, remember you had dinner
So
with
we
Miss
had dinner with
KB?"
Miss KB. The three of us had
Aw,
dinner with Miss
that's
So
KB
yeah,
nice.
about a month ago.
yes,
About a month
Oh,
ago.
that's awesome.
she was
Yeah.
chilling. She doesn't chill with everybody,
She
and
was
she chilled with my birthday twin there.
Aw,
She
that's
did
awesome.
totally chill. And now I'm laughing not at what you were saying just now, but she walks into the room with her purse on her shoulder, like, let's go.
Yeah,
She
let's
just
go.
got home. She just got home, mind you, and she's already like, let's go.
Yeah,
Oh, then get
exactly.
out the camera.
Oh,
Nobody
that's
wants to
okay.
see your pink shoulder.
I like the pink shirt.
Then you'll like her whole drawer. Her
Yeah.
entire wardrobe is
It's
pink.
pink.
Ooh, that's my favorite color too, Simone. That color
Oh
you
yeah.
have on is my favorite color too. Love it.
Don't.
So,
So Pump said hi, Simone, too, Moni.
wow, we have been 3 hours and 15 minutes, and I literally feel like I could still talk to you for another 10 hours. But I just want to thank you guys so much for coming on my show and just giving us some insight. And I think Tall Pump said earlier here, thanks for encouraging us, like for marriage. And I think that was the mission of the show today, to just really just share whatever you guys are going through. And I got like mad respect for the two of you guys. It's always a pleasure going in your chat room and joking and just seeing your dynamic. I think is a really beautiful thing, and it's not super common. So keep doing what you're doing. I really
Thank
believe
you.
that
Thank
bigger
you.
things, much bigger things, are even beyond Twitch for you too. And I can't wait to see you guys like just like going really, really far with it. So if you guys can repost the book link again, I'm trying to scroll up to find it. Make sure again,
Yeah,
you
because
guys
only
buy
when
their book.
Mrs. Cox had to leave because she. Are you typing it in?
Yeah, I'll type it.
Okay, yeah, I'm trying to scroll
Type
up
in this
here,
H
but there's a lot of
because you have
messages.
to put it all in.
Yeah, make sure you guys add, and also put in your
Yes.
link for your Twitch show as well, and your book. If you could do both links together, I'll post it for you
Okay.
guys. So I hope it gave you guys some encouragement, with IL2, because Honeyflow's on a mission. She's on a mission,
And you're.
definitely,
Oh, she
to
went
either
to.
connect, either singles together, or just, having people feel more hopeful. I feel like the world needs more love, and especially in these times right now, it's
So
really, really
true.
important. So I know a lot of people are like, Honey Flow, that's like fantasy. You're not being realistic. But honestly, I feel like if we post more positive stories and real stories, like you don't really see that anywhere. You see a lot of
No.
negativity on the news and everything. So I think it's really important to showcase real stories and to have instill that hope in people again. I think that's the main mission, at least for IL2. So make sure you guys come down to IL2. So here is his Twitch link, guys. Make sure you add them together. It's Djcsharp on Twitch. Make sure you guys are adding them. And then also the book is only $12.99. Anyone could find that chump change in their couch, in someone's back pocket of aisle two, in the laundry room. You could use a metal detector around Yoyobaybay's house, because I know she's stashing
She got a
money.
stash.
My
Got
She
a
got a
stash.
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 It's
Yeah.
carefully placed.
Yeah.
Only author Javonda knows
I
where
have
it
a
is.
feeling it's with her mom. I have a feeling it's with DJ C Sharp's mom. I have a feeling
Mama.
they're working together. That's why she's at Costco so much, you know? Either that or she's dating at Costco. Um, so if you guys want to, yeah, and you guys could rewatch the show. Hey, Pink Assassin, everyone that's come in the building, Twomp, saying side money. Thanks for coming through. Everyone else I missed, I see you in the chat. So thank
Yeah,
you
we
guys,
missed a lot.
yeah, for coming through. But so I'm gonna ask who you guys would want to raid out to as well, and we could definitely raid out. Stick around, guys. So when we raid, you know, definitely support the next show. And I hope you guys learned something new, and it kind of, you know, gave you some insight on relationships, and you know, and maybe a little bit of hope too. I hope that's
I
what
hope
it
so.
brought
I hope
today.
so. Thank
Yeah.
you, everybody, for giving us some of your time. Thank you, DJ Honeyflow, for having us on and just really, delving into all of this. You are an awesome interviewer, and I do love your stream as well. And I will be going back to listen to some replays. I realize I've missed some good stuff. So
Yeah, no problem. Yeah,
thanks to everybody.
definitely check out the replays, guys. They're free, and I don't know how long I keep them up there, but I think 60 shows up. Make sure they add. Yeah, and you guys are definitely going back to the Rhythm of Love, their new book. I'm definitely going to purchase, and hopefully I could bring you guys back on for a sequel, and we could kind of dig more into the book as well. Yes, there it is. Let's see if we can magnify that as well. I don't know. Oh, actually, it's not on. Ooh,
Hold on, let's see
so
if I can make it
magnified
bigger.
here.
Hold on.
Let's see.
Oh, and you had asked us about the titles earlier. So the titles are an Easter egg, are Easter eggs in of the book. So you have to read the book to get the titles.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
To
Yes,
understand
Cool.
how
yes. To understand the
to
titles, you gotta
understand what
read
the
the book,
titles, you have to read it.
and you might have to make it all the way to
to
the
the
end.
end before
Okay.
you might figure it out as you go along, but there's definitely a prize at the end if you make it to the end. When you
Okay,
make
that's
it to the
cool.
end.
Awesome. So, yeah, so would you guys, is there anyone, I don't know if you guys could see. Oh, there it is, guys. The Rhythm of Love. This is their book right there. So make sure again, you guys are purchasing the book. If it's, you know, even if it's not for yourself, think about the next person that you can help with this book, something to encourage them. Buy a few. Again, it's only
Yes.
$12.99, and you know, be a blessing to someone else. I think that would really help a lot of people, especially in these times, right? So
I
let's
agree.
definitely do that. So is there anyone you guys want to raid into as well?
I put it up there. Let's go to my mentor, the very first DJ, that the
Mhm.
guy who taught me how to DJ. My very first mentor is on right now. His name is J Style Sounds.
Oh,
Knew
okay. I'm
you were
gonna
gonna
see if
go
I
to
could
him.
look this up. I just realized I
I
don't have
put
any
it in the
Oh,
chat.
he
mods.
typed it in the
I
chat
typed it
so
in the
you
chat.
can copy and paste. Yeah.
Oh, how does, I don't even know how that works. Do you have to, you have to follow them first, probably, right?
Not to
So,
raid them.
To raid them? I don't
I
think
don't
so.
think
Yeah.
so. Not to raid them.
oh no, because some do have follower only. Okay, there we go. I see
Well,
him.
you can take
There,
a
I
look.
just followed him. I just followed him now,
Okay.
just to make
Yeah,
sure.
that
Okay,
he is my original DJ mentor. The very first DJ gig I ever went out on was with J Style Sounds.
awesome. I wonder if it would be able to raid through my phone. I've never tried this before,
Uh,
but we're gonna try. Does it work through your phone? I
Oh,
think it
if
does.
something to say was here, she could tell you because I think she does for her son, DJ Lunar Bass. I think she does it through her phone, but
Okay,
she
we're
might
gonna
not be
try
here
this.
anymore.
How could you tell I'm not great at modding? This is why I need mods. I'm just like this. I think your parents do a much better job in the chat, you know. Okay, so we're gonna raid
We all
out
have a learning curve.
exactly. We're gonna raid out, guys. So again, click the link. Thank you guys so much for joining me, DJ C Sharp, his beautiful wife, Yoyobaybay. I learned so much tonight. You know, I'm gonna take like even off this interview, some of the comments and the things that you said. I'm gonna actually catch the replay and really, you know, it's given me some. You guys have
Thank
given me
you.
some golden nuggets to really think
Yeah,
about, and I appreciate that.
Thank you.
it's our
Thank you for the
pleasure and
opportunity.
our honor. Yeah. I mean, you know, if there's anything to be gotten out of, we just, you know, appreciate you just saying that. We, you
Yeah,
know,
for sure. Whoops. Actually, you know what I was doing, guys? I went to J Style Sound and I was typing the raid in his chat. Like, how can you
that's not
tell I'm
gonna
not?
work.
Yeah, how can you tell I'm not like the best at?
Well,
I
there's something to say if you did want to check in with her. Something to say. I was just saying,
Can
do
you
you
raid
do
from
you
your
read
phone?
from your phone, or are you on the laptop?
Yeah, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try rating through my phone right now. Okay, let's see if
Okay.
this works, guys.
All right.
Yeah, let me know if you guys could see the raid going
We
through. We'll be
can.
rating
It
it.
popped right up.
Woo! Okay,
There's
we
my
did
other
it.
sister too, right there.
Oh, it's going fast.
KIE8SJB.
Okay,
My
thank
other
you
blood
guys
sister.
so
Thank
much.
you. Love you
Stick
too.
around for the raid. It looks like it's raiding right now. So we're going to go through. And thank you guys, each and every one of you guys, for coming through tonight. Definitely learned so much from you guys. And everyone in the chat room, all your great questions. Tall Pumps, you need an interview show. You would kill it. And Stirs to Soul as well. I want to see you get a show and a few others in this room.
You have a raid
So
message for us, Honey Flo?
Oh, actually, I don't even know how to put it up. If you have my emotes, you could just put those up, or you could say
Okay.
from Honey Flow. I don't know. My mods normally put it up. So props to all the mods. You guys know what you're doing. You guys are the backbones to our shows. But yeah, I
Yes.
definitely don't
Yes.
even know how to do it right now. Yeah.
That's it.
But just yeah, put up raid if you have my emotes, and or just say from Honey Flow, you know. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so we're gonna let this raid out naturally here. I think it's gonna be raiding in like 2 minutes. They always
Nope.
say do it
That's
naturally,
the net.
then
Bye.
press it. Okay, I think did it raid out? Oh no, it's still going.
I'm not with
It's
the raid.
still going. Okay. Do I have to click?
Nope.
Tall Pumps, put your message in.
Oh, thank you, Tall Pumps. I appreciate it. Okay,
I
it
don't think
looks
it
like
worked.
oh yeah, I think it did. I think it just raided.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, there
Yep.
we go. Okay. Thank you guys so much. It's been so amazing. And we're definitely going to do a part 2. So
All right.
keep me posted on your book too. I'll do what I can to definitely advertise it too, you know, for you guys as well. And I'm getting a book too. Yeah.
All right. Well,
All right.
thank you.
Take care, you guys. Have a
All
great
right.
night.
You too.
Okay.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.